boys and girls of the YouTube world. On this week's video, we built a 1956 Pontiac mud truck, and Benny tries to get her stuck after I couldn't do it.
Oh, it's alive!
Today, the Duff dog and I are about to make a more poor decision than we usually make. It's going to be a poor white trash decision. So there's this mud bog thing coming up in a week. It's Sunday and it starts on Thursday. So we got 4 or 5 days to get ready, and it's already over halfway through the day Sunday. But I did the planning up here. If you guys saw the video a long time ago, I don't know when we snuck it in, but Mojo's son Rajo gave us this square body, 3/4 ton. It was he's into like the mud drag thing. Anyway, it's got 3/4 ton axles. It's got 410 gears. It's welded in the rear. He said the brakes worked, but it doesn't have a motor. It doesn't have a transmission. So I don't do the 4-wheel. I don't speak fluent 4-wheel drive, but I know enough to be dangerous. Anyway, I got some other stuff laying around. So I'm gonna see if we can't round up a turbo 350 and either a 203 or a 205 transfer case. I'd love to find 205 because they're gear driven. 203 is chain driven, so that means more robust, hence why we're going with 3/4 ton axles. You want good gears for going through the mud so that when you put the big tires on it, you don't run out of power. You don't want 307s and 37s. You want 536s and 40s. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're winging it. I got a bunch of LS's sitting around, so we're going to try to put a 4.8 or a 5.3 or a 6.0 in front of the transmission, and then I want to put an old body on it. Square bodies, there's a million of those things there, and I got a million of them in my yard, and you guys know I speak fluent square body. There's a whole row of them over there, but I want something different, and I want something that seats more than 2 people so I can take my friends with. Case in points, this, I don't know, 68? 67 Newport, but this thing, the seats are gone in the back, and it doesn't have a back window, and you want to keep kind of dry because I don't want to ruin my weekend. We got this Jaguar here. The wheelbase is going to be way off, but we got to shorten the wheelbase for whatever we put on there most likely. Power windows. You don't want the power windows. So sorry, Jaguar. I want 4 doors so it's easy in and out, so that Cadillac 2 doors out. This thing, what is it, like a 55 Olds? 54? It's missing all the glass and the floors, but we can patch that because we're going to put it on a square body chassis. We don't want a 57 Buick with a camper, and I don't want to hack up something super valuable like a 58 Chevy Nomad wagon. So obviously we got to build this thing in, let's call it 4 days with what we got on hand. So we got the chassis, we got the axles. This 55 Savoy would be a pretty good option. It's different. It's in good enough shape to be presentable, but it's in bad enough shape where we're not ruining anything too good. 59 Ford over there, it's got a wide lock that probably will never run. Sure, the mice and critters are in the interior. That's a 2-door, and I don't want to do an X-frame car because they're valuable-ish. Speaking of Mopars, I think this is a 57 Plymouth, but it doesn't have a windshield. I love the color. No windshield, so that thing's out. But look at what we got here. I think this is a 55 Pontiac. It's only missing 1 window that's flat. We could patch that up. It's got 4 doors. It's a hard top, so super cool for cruising. Oh, it's a 56? Has that got the, I don't know. It's a 5 or a 6. We're gonna figure it out before this video's over. It's got the waterfalls down the hood. Yeah, and I'm thinking LS, either zoomies out the hood, or it'd be really cool to sneak them out the side, so when you're spinning the tires, it's shooting the mud that way and that way. And there's probably no way the old Pontiac Strato Streak will ever run again, judging by the looks of things. Again, I think I paid like 300 bucks for this thing delivered a couple years ago. We're never gonna do anything with it. It's not valuable, so if we cut it up, not a big deal. We also got this 56 Chevy that's pretty much worthless. Somebody cut a hole in the roof, so that'd be kind of cool, fun to hang out. It's got some cool lettering. It's missing just enough. I don't love 56s, but again, no glass, so I don't want to get muddy. I wish this thing had glass in it, more glass in it anyway. 59 Chevy, they got a little value, so I don't want to cut that thing up, and it's an X-frame car, so it'd be kind of difficult-ish with the frame. We got a couple 61 Chevys back here, 4 doors, 58 Chevy 4 doors, but again, X-frame cars, so they're got some value. 55 Chevy 4 door, maybe has a little bit of value. We're probably not gonna ruin it, but it's missing glass, so that's out. The 74 Mercury Marquis has really been crossing my mind. Just kidding, they're electric, so that's probably out. Dang nabbit, Mercury. So I'm leaning towards that 55.6 Pontiac. But first things first, let's get that square body inside. Let's get the body off it. I think it's 131.5 inches for the wheelbase. I think it's what, 117 for a short bed. We'll know what our wheelbase is, and then we'll go do some measuring on some cars out here and go from there. A T-top Camaro would be sweet, but it's a 2-door and all the glass is busted. Henry J, pretty rough shape, but it's pretty small as well. I really wanted to do this Jaguar. I was hoping it'd have manual windows, because then we can steal the front end out of it, because that's all I really want. We'll steal the rear end out of it, maybe sell that. A Jaguar, jacked up. Zoomies, LS, 4-wheel drive, be good. We do got to move it out of the way anyway. Maybe we hook a battery up, see if the windows work. All right, let's get it out of the way, and we'll get Rajo out of there. All right, Broho Rajo Mojo Jr. is in here. Let's take a look at this thing. That's the other thing is, since this thing was already a mud truck, it's got a lift kit in it. The rear end's got a Lincoln locker in it. It's got 410 gears. It's been run through the paces. It's broke in. It's also got a hitch point on the back. You gotta have a hook point, I guess, to go out there so that when you get stuck, or if you get stuck, they can pull you out. It's already on the back. That's good to go. We just gotta add one to the front. I think there's something in the bed, so maybe we'll use that. And it's already got cooler lines run back there for a radiator in the back, which is what you want to do, because if you get one up front, it just gets full of mud. So you want one high and dry in the back, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take a look at this thing. So it's early square body hood, so 73 to 79, because they got that lip here. It's got the old style hood hinges. Looks like we got a little hood pin action going on there, and a sweet cowl induction scoop. Looks like they got some holes for the exhaust. But yeah, take a couple radiator support bolts out. Obviously, there's no engine in this thing, so that part's, well, kind of done for us, but we gotta make all that stuff, I guess. We're gonna have to get some bigger wheels and tires. Looks like lockouts? I don't know. I'm guessing they worked before. It's got some type of lift springs in it. You can still see the tags on them, and they got some nice red bushings in there, so it's gotta be real good. There's our cooling tubes. Looks like we got some fabric cobbled extensions for our brake hoses, but we don't care, right, Duff? Looks like the steering and brakes are still hooked up, so we'll unhook those. Hey, this thing's got a halfway respectable seat in it, Duff says. Dashes out, ooh, Firebird steering column. Real fast. So we're gonna rip the cab and bed, everything off it. This is a later bed. I don't know, I just can tell by the trim and the colors. Oh yeah, and it's also got a fuel door, as opposed to just having the cap sticking out the side. There's our radiator hoses come through. That must have been his fuel cell. Oh yeah, there's the other tow hook. I'm guessing we just gotta bolt that on the front. Speaking of tow hooks, that's how I shove this son of a biscuit in here, is with that tow hook. Well, thanks to you, you didn't steer. Looks like we got a lift block going on back here. Some fancy diff cover action over there. Looks like they got some, I don't know, explosion cover thingers for the old drive shaft. I don't think we need those, but I guess I'd keep mud from getting in there. This cabin stuff isn't too bad, but square body's just, they're overdone for mud trucks, so we gotta do something different, right, Duff? Yeah. She's getting warm out, so this is gonna be fun. I might close the doors and turn on the AC and jam away. Let's do this. Let's get a look at the bottom side of this thing. Looks like we got some new lift springs over here, so that's good. Steering stabilizer, I guess we don't need that. Shocks, don't need those either. It's a race truck. Looks like the cab mount bolts are gonna get torched off, because looks like they're just gonna spin. Looks like there's a little bit of a body lift in the back bolts back here on the bed, or back of the cab. Yeah, I didn't think this cab was that bad, but it is. Still got a bunch of mud left underneath it from its old racing days, which, don't worry, she's gonna live on. I'm guessing this was a hanger bearing? I don't know. Is these a two-piece drive shaft? I doubt it. Oh, I bet there was a drive shaft loop that came through that. Speaking of drive shafts, I guess we're gonna have to find a tranny crossover. Looks like that got torched out, but That shouldn't be too big of a deal. And then back here, they didn't put new springs, they just put these blocks in the back to get their lift. How yeah, park brake delete, that's already taken care of. Brake hose is still hooked up, even looks like she's got a new brake line. Must be a GM 14 bolt, 9.5. So yeah, for all our cooling needs, we should probably check our diffs before we get out in the old mud pit. No shocks back here either. Pretty bare bones. I think we're gonna have like 4 cab mount bolts and then 2 for the core support and then probably about 8 on the bed. Bada bing, bada boom, this thing will be good to go. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to pull off the master cylinder, set that off to the side, and then unhook our steering as well. Probably should have done that when it was on the ground, but live and learn. Well, that went surprisingly well. A couple of the bolts were rusty on the cab mounts, but the other 4 came out. The bed bolts, they all wanted to spin. Carriage bolts, you guys have taken these off, know what it's all about. So we went ahead and torched 7 of the 8 of those bad boys. Nice part about this thing being a mud truck is the only hose that I forgot was the breather for the front diff, which was way up on the inner fender over there. Looks like somebody's done some custom front clip mount modifications up here. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the skid steer, roll this out, and we'll get the box off, and then we'll fetch the cab up. Maybe do a little pressure washing on this to get the mud off it, so when we got a weld, our new cab, body, car, mounts, things, it'll not have to deal with rust and dirt. Mostly dirt, because every bolt that I took out of the body I got absolutely rained on by mud. Yay, mud truck things. That's why when we're done with this, hopefully somebody buys it. Maybe somebody will get there and somebody will be like, that thing's awesome, and we'll have for sale $3,500 and somebody will buy it. And then we don't have to drag it home. We never have to clean it or look at it again. That would be great, because cleaning your mud truck doesn't sound like much fun. I wouldn't know, never had one. Yeah, we're gonna have to adjust the wheelbase a little bit. So I was wondering how I was going to get this thing in here because it's only got 1 tire on it. We could have drug it with Bernie, but there's a road runner in the way that needs a steering column. And I can pick it up with the telehandler, but I can't get through the door sideways to get it on the lift. So great minds do stupid things like build mud trucks out of Pontiacs. I guess we decided on the Pontiac body. And by we, I mean Duff and I. He didn't say much, so he didn't give me the thumbs up either. Anyway, let's get this thing lifted up in the air and torch off. What we need to get rid of, because we don't need 2 sets of brakes and 2 sets of steering and an engine, two engines and a twin engine. That's what we should do next year. Twin engine, or maybe put a turbo on an LS. But anyway, let's get this thing lifted up in the air so that we can get rid of all that stuff. Before we cut that stuff out of there, I need to remember to measure for the wheelbase so that we can shorten the frame up at some point. We're just winging it here. All right, let's rip into this thing. So we gotta get rid of the motor, transmission, front end, rear end, all that stuff in there. But I want to keep the aesthetics, like the bumper. I want to keep it low, but not sit too high, not have to remake all the body mounts. So let me show you how I think I'm going to do that. So first things first, up here, I think I'm going to unbolt all the bumper brackets, get that slid out of there and out of the way. And then we're going to go up top, take the radiator, throttle linkage, shift linkage, brake linkage, all of that stuff. And then we're going to have to figure out where it bolts to the core support, probably right there. And we're going to go ahead and drop this whole subframe from about right here. We're just gonna lob it off, just get rid of all that. There's kind of a body mount right there, but we're gonna get rid of that. We'll have to make a new body mount for the front, then we'll have room for our engine, transmission, all that. This thing's got a full perimeter frame that's got this huge I-beam X-frame. I don't want to get rid of that just because it's gonna be a pain, but if it gets in the way of our transmission, we're gonna have to cut it there and get it all out of there. But I don't want to get rid of these frame rails because it's got all our body mounts. It's got one there, it's got one up here. Anyway, there's 6 down each side. We're going to cut these spring mounts off, get the whole rear end out of here. Obviously get rid of our exhaust, take out our drive shaft, get our everything out of here, spring shackles. We'll get rid of our fuel tank. We'll put a fuel cell in the back along with our radiator and probably our battery. What I'm getting at is it's gonna be a lot of work, so that's my plan. I wanna leave the frame underneath that thing and then we'll just weld this frame to that frame. I don't really like how high it's gonna sit. It's not gonna look as clean, but gotta have clearance for our big old mud tires. And also, we want this thing to sit up high and proud and, you know, look like a mud truck. So there's a fine line. And I also don't want to remake all those body mounts, nor do I want to try to take them out because they're going to be rusty. So let's just weld this frame to that frame in the middle and do a small amount of fabric cobbling as we need to. So first things first, let's let her down, take the hood off, and we'll cut the steering and the throttle linkage and get the radiator out and all that stuff so that we can drop that front end down and get that out of there because that's going to be a big undertaking. All right, nothing to it but to do it. So we're missing some headlight trim bezels. Probably just cobble some headlights in there, figure something out. But anyway, these hood hinges, they're tacoed. So we're gonna go ahead and just torch all that stuff, and she's gonna be a pin-on style hood, or no hood. But anyway, we're not fixing those, nor do I have any. So I'm just gonna ixnay on the hood nay. So that's like 2 vehicles in a row that I think the hoods are screwed because people opened them and didn't get them closed or lubricate them, and it screwed up the hinges. Don't do that. Don't open hoods. Unless you're buying a car, don't open the hood. And if you're not buying it and you open the hood, make sure you lubricate it and get it fixed so that the wind does not do that. See, like that even tore up the body on the firewall. No bueno. And then when you do that, Duff can't figure out how to get it open, so then you got that dilemma. This is gonna be a fun one. Let's get the torch out and see if we can't burn the shop down. Ah, somebody stole, I think there was like a Jetstar bird Indian head chief. There was a cool hood ornament on here, no doubt. It's gone. Frickin' thieves. I don't even know what size engine this is. 347, something like that? Yeah, a little tiny baby 4-barrel that was on there at one point. Of course, somebody stole the coil and somebody stole the generator, which is what people do around here with old cars. But the brakes, you'll notice the master cylinder and the booster are not on the firewall. It's down below on the underneath the floor. Super easy to get at. Sarcasm. So anyway, we're gonna get rid of that. We're probably gonna, I want to say we ditch the inner fenders, but I'd just as soon leave them so that it even keeps some mud off our new engine. But anyway, that's got to come out. Yeah, throttle linkage is already done. Probably some wiring we got to do. Guessing we're gonna need some new wipers because vacuum wipers are not gonna cut it, and we're missing some wiper arms. So we'll figure out something there. Cross that bridge when we get there. Off the road since 1968, so what's that, 57 years. Dang. This is light. Not terrible, not good. Well, I got the front end cut off, but this tranny cross, remember I cut the bolts off and it's hanging on what's left of the bolts. So let's lift it up and see if it just miraculously drops out of there. She's definitely loose up front here. Got a nice gap. That raccoon had a lot of fiber in its diet. Going up. Oh, that didn't work. What's your problem? Can't be stuck if it's liquid, right? Little heat goes a long ways. Get your little heat goes a long ways decal at mortske.com. along with some other good stuff like ball caps, t-shirts, and screwdrivers, and banners, and magnetic can koozies. What the French toast? That was the one. Let's see what we forgot. Boy, we got a mess here. Oh yeah, check this out. So much room for activities.
So much aerobics in here. So many activities.
Kind of wanted to trim this a little bit further back, but you get into there and then that's where it splices and holds that all together. And I was worried about it dropping and killing me like it almost did. Duff says he's happy that I'm still alive. Anyway, we can trim it back further. Easy enough if it gets into the way later. But for now, I think we're just gonna leave it. Cause yeah, I'd cut it there probably, and then trim this off. That's what we're gonna need to do. But then in order to do that, we gotta get rid of these body mounts and this. Anyway, we'll get it figured out. It's gotta go now, we're committed. All right, she's 10 o'clock. We're gonna go ahead and clean up our mess, have a sandwich, and check for fires. You on fire patrol? Yeah. All right, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Next day out here, I did stick around a little bit late and have a sandwich and make sure that there was no fires smoldering in the car so we don't burn the shop down, because we're probably going to lose the shop on this project anyway. But anyway, swept the floor. That's one thing. Oh, put the tools away. I like to do at the end of the day is, you know, make a list of what you're going to do the next day. It's great for helping get projects done because, as you can tell, I'm really good at finishing projects around here. But anyway, I like to sit around, make a list of what you got to do the next day, clean up and put your tools away, and then sweep the floors, get all that cleaned up, because there's nothing like coming out to a dirty shop and you're just not excited to work. So clean your shop up every night. You'll be more productive. Seriously. But anyway, we're gonna go all back, fire up the pressure washer, and get that chassis all cleaned up so that we can get that wheeled inside, and take, I think this is 122 inches, and that pickup was 131.5. So we're gonna take 9.5 inches, just shy of 10 inches out of that wheelbase and splice her together. And then hopefully set this body on there. But that frame is 34 inches wide, and this frame is 38.5 inside the frame. So I know you want clearance on a mud truck, but I'm thinking we just get this sitting as low as we can and then trim out the fender. You know what I'm saying? Big tires look really cool when they're tucked up as high as you can get. If you guys know what I mean? Instead of just the body being way up here and then big tires down here. But let me show you what I'm thinking. So you guys knew I wanted to cut this off anyway, because you know our engine's gonna be right to here. But there's this big X member, and if we get rid of that, we can set the body right onto the frame, and then we just attach this outer rail to our new K20 frame, and we'll be able to set it down whatever the height of that frame is, probably 5 inches, something like that. So we might be cutting that cross member out of there. We were gonna cut this off anyway. We were gonna cut that out of there, but we're gonna set it on there first, because I don't want to set it on there and be like, oh man, I wish it was 5 inches higher. So yeah, let's not create more work and then have to do more work because of that work that we did. All right, I'm gonna go pressure wash. I'm not gonna record it, because if you want to see pressure washing, go to somebody else's channel. If you want to see somebody licking themselves, this is the channel. All right, she's in here. She's dried off. Got her all cleaned up where we're gonna splice it. You can see part of the hidden serial number there, tech tip of the day, if you ever think your truck is stolen, take the bed off, look for the hidden serial number on the frame rail. Anyway, it's nice and straight here. We got a 9.5 inch shot. We're getting pretty close to this cab mount here, the rear cab mount. So I'm gonna have to grind some rivets off. And then this cross member for his, what do you call it, drive shaft loop is right on the edge of that, but I kind of like it being there. It'll keep that frame square and we can cut it out if we need to. I don't think it's gonna get in the way, but we're pretty much tight up against that cross member and tight up against these cab mounts. So let's start cutting. We're gonna have to figure out how to brace it up because when you cut it, it's gonna want to drop. Usually I'd like to cut diagonally or do like a step cut so you get more surface area for weld. Because this is a mud truck and we don't really care, we're not gonna square it up. We're not gonna do much. We'll probably fish plate it or box it or something to beef it up a little bit because we don't want to get stuck and have them pull out from that point and rip it in half. Plus, when we weld that frame to this frame, it's gonna beef it up even more. So, yeah, and then look at this frame, it's bent. It's super pitted up. This thing was hot garbage, but it was painted red. So it's gonna look real good under our reddish orange Pontiac. Anyway, let's get this thing shortened. Didn't plan that out very well. Hey Chin, grab one of them big orange jack stands. Ruined my brake line. Alright, we got her tacked in place. We did 0 leveling, 0 measuring. That tire is low and way smaller than the front one, so it's gonna be just perfect. But I did cut a nice bevel on there with our flap disc and everything lined up pretty respectable, so I go ahead and burn her in. Also, I am not a professional welder, so don't take any tech tips on welding. I can pick people's welds apart, but I can't tell you what you did wrong or do it better. So here we go. Alright, I am not a welder, and that's a vertical bead, so I don't know, other than overhead, they don't get much more difficult than that. Of course, this is the good side. But yeah, I think it'll hold, and then I went on the inside and welded that to the back frame rail. It'll be plenty strong, and we'll throw a boxing plate of sorts in there. I'm trying to figure out how we do that, if we go off of this, or if we just put a flat plate on the back side, if we take this out. I don't know, but I want to do it now as opposed to when that thing's sitting on top of it, because it'll be a lot harder. Wiring. Looky what I came up with. Pretty proud of myself here. Like anything with this project, or like most of the things with this project, didn't cost us nothing. So you remember these dropouts for the frame rail? Well, all I did was notch it for that cross member and burned her in, like so. Never mind the fact that I notched it too high up there. I notched it an extra thickness of the frame rail, an extra 1/4 inch, put it up there. Well, then I got the 1/4 inch plus the thickness of the frame rail off, so I'm an idiot. Instead of cutting it out 1 3/4 inches, I should have cut it out 1 1 1/4 inches. But, got her welded on the back side, got her welded on the front side. She's gonna be good. Got her welded to that body mount, be plenty strong. So, yeah, I'm proud of myself. So now I gotta mark out that side. Like I said, cut it out 1 1/4 inches, not 1 3/4 inches. Set her in there, clean everything up, put her in place. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll be ready for a drivetrain and mount a body and all that good stuff. I wanna get the drivetrain set in here. That way the engine's in place, and so when we set the body on and weld it in place, we don't have to do it later. And also that might dictate any massaging we gotta do on the body and we can set the motor and transmission in here and hopefully find a drive shaft for the front. And so we get it set in place, in the right place, so that we have a front drive shaft. Because I don't want to modify one of those. I don't want to modify any drive shafts, but we're going to have to modify our rear. I got a feeling. Hopefully not both. Oh, yeah. We did way better on the gap on that side. She's all burned in. I'm going to wheel this thing out so that we can drag a donor in for a transmission and transfer case. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and put some wheels and tires on this thing and set it underneath that. See how she looks. Check out what I got for wheels and tires. I got 3 of them. Humvee wheels. I think these are 16.5s. What are they? 37 by 1250, 16.5s. Was it 1 Goodyear and 2 BF goodies? I got these for $10 on an auction. I didn't want them, but I thought the rims are worth it for that if a guy ever needs them, because they're... Do you call that a beadlock? Not really. It's kind of a split 2-piece rim that you can take apart, put it all together. Like so. Anyway, let's put those on the front, at least. Maybe do one on the back. And then set that thing under there and see how she looks. Wheelbase-wise and height-wise and all that good stuff. It's only going to be temporary, though, because I want to get the motor and tranny in this thing before we put the body on there permanently. But I want to get this thing off my lift so we can bring the next vehicle in to cannibalize some more parts off of. Oh, how cool do those look? That's pretty awesome right there, huh? Turns out these things have a crazy amount of offset. And that offset leads to the tie rod end smashing right into the rim. I'm sure some of you guys that run these Humvee tires on stuff knew this right away before I did it, but we're learning here. So anyway, we're gonna keep looking for wheels and tires because these are not gonna work for us. And also, they're super heavy to put on and off. So glad I just put one side on there. I could maybe shave a little bit of the tie rod end off. I really don't want to do that, but I feel like that's not gonna be enough. So the search continues. I could put these on a regular 16.5 rim, but I don't really have much of those around, and we're still 1 tire short, and these tires aren't that great, so we're gonna hope that somebody comes through with some 38-inch boggers for us. All right, the saga continues. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep, we definitely gotta cut that cross member out. Get her sitting down. It's too high. Looks silly. You can see where it's sitting on that chunk of frame rail that I absolutely wanted to get rid of anyway. So that'll bring it down quite a bit. And that cross member is like a good 4 or 5 inches above the existing frame, so she gotta come down for sure. All right, check this gem out. I think it's a 78, 79, something like that. 73 to 79. Square body. We picked it up at the place where we picked up 16 other cars. We drug 17 of them home from one estate. Go check that video out. And this one I had to pay up for. I guess it ran when parked, when they rolled it. If you haven't, we did that last summer. Anyway, somebody rolled this thing over, and I think it's June of 2010 the tags are. So I'm guessing somebody rolled it in 2009, 2010, so 15-ish years ago. And we need a 4-wheel drive transmission and a transfer case. So we're gonna steal out of this because I assume the transmission was working great when they rolled it over. That was my grandpa's theory when he would buy vehicles that were all smashed up. It's like, well, the engine was running good enough or the transmission was working good enough to wad it up. So that's what we're assuming here. And this thing, the cab's already shot. So ideally we would take that other cab and put on here, but we're kind of at a time crunch. It's already mid-afternoon on Monday and you guys know where we're at. So we got some work to do. And Duff, I'll give you guys a quick little run around of this thing. It was a pretty sharp pickup. Got the chicken chasers up top, sliding rear window, seat cover, tilt, wood grain dash. Obviously it's an automatic. It does have worn lockouts, so I don't know if that means it's got a 203 transfer case. Hopefully it's got a 205. I'm guessing it's a turbo 350. Hopefully it's a turbo 400, but who knows. It's got the fuel filler neck on the outside like the earlier pickup's got. She's got some rust. Got a pretty decent tailgate on the back. Little hooey in it. Anyway, let's get this thing up in the air and get a transmission and a transfer case. Oh, we missed the big yawn. Maybe that's what we should call this car, the Big Yawn. That's gonna be your Pontiac name. Big Yawn.
Mudmobile.
Big
One with mud.
Big sleep. One with the mud. What's going on with this front bumper? Does this thing got a body lift? Oh, yeah. But whoa, that's freaking terrible. Yeah, body lift. Didn't look like it had a body lift in it. But apparently it does. Gross. Hopefully it had some big old mud sluts on it. So is this a 203 or a 205? That's definitely a turbo 350. How do you tell the difference? Beggars can't be choosers. We're taking it. Somebody said it had something to do with if it's got lockouts, it was probably a 203 because that way you can get it out of full-time four-wheel drive. All right, let's take it out of there. All right, she is out of there. It looks like an 010 block, so it's a 350. We'll have to snag that up. Someday I should probably grab the tranny cooler lines. I might have some laying around. Yeah, I think we're done with this thing. For now, anyway. Check this out. Body lifts are so cool when your four-wheel drive shift lever isn't long enough. You just grab a little sheet metal and extend it out. Oh, they welded it too, so it's not going anywhere.
He's going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
Equally terrible.
I was looking at that, I'm like, that should be thicker than that. And I was like, oh yeah, body lifts. So then I got to thinking, I'm like, God, I wonder what they do for the steering and wiring and everything else. The fan shroud.
Maybe that's why they rolled it.
The throttle cable.
They were going to go into 4 low and they hit neutral.
We may never know. All right, thank you, Red Rocket, for your donation.
Big Chief.
The square chrome grill, real nice. I'm more of a round tube fan myself out of the old JC Whitney.
I'm a big fan of the cut bumper.
And it was a chrome one too that they had to ruin. All right, we got our transmission and our transfer case and a couple of drive shafts. I don't know if they're gonna work, but anyway, the funny story behind that pickup is DDP was hauling it home. I was ahead of him, and I looked out the window and there was this smoker in there, like a 110 volt stand-up smoker, and it was called the Big Chief. And I looked in the mirror and I seen it rolling out in the ditch. And so we've been calling DDP Big Chief, and every time I see one of those smokers, it reminds me of him. And we're working on a Pontiac. It might be a Chieftain, I don't know what it is. It's a Pontiac. So we might have to call this thing Big Chief. But anyway, we got another one to kill. Well, it's already dead, but I need some engine mounts. So we're gonna steal them out of this. Old Landshark Garage, go check him out on YouTube. I don't know if he's posting much anymore, but he stole the motor and tranny out of this, and I got the rest. So we stole the wire harness. Cramery's leaving. Chin's punching out. Second shift's still working, but we're gonna, he took the whatever, everything out of here, gave us the rest. And so yeah, let's steal those engine mounts out of it. We stole the wire harness out of it to work on that advanced design 4753, I think it was a GMC long box. That somebody was a failed project. Don't worry, we sold that one. Also, the neighbor, he had like a 91 Chevy, red, with a red topper, and he's cleaning out the shed. He says, hey, you want that topper? Come get it. So I went and picked that up today. And the bed in this thing's in pretty good shape. So Mojo's gonna bring the rollback around. We're gonna set that topper on it so I can use my rollback. And also we can store more junk in the bed of this thing. So multiple birds with multiple stones. Everybody needs a rollback. Look at the barn dust on that thing. Good grief. Can't even tell that it's a red topper hardly. I do like how nice and light these aluminum toppers are though. Daughter? I don't know much about four-wheel drives, but I know that those are very easy to take the mounts off four-wheel drive. Not so much on a two-wheel drive. So we're gonna go ahead and torch the bolts, because that's how you take them off a two-wheel drive. And that's how you pull a couple engine mounts.
And boom goes the dynamite.
All right, here is probably the part I'm most excited about, the engine. This is a 2002 6-liter that I took out. It's got 157,000 miles out of a 3/4 ton pickup. It was a one-owner pickup, local guy, rolled over. I knew the history on it. I've been hanging on to this one. I have stole the alternator, a couple coil packs. It's got 2 busted off exhaust studs. I don't know if we'll fix those or not. We should, but we're kind of on a time crunch. The reason I'm excited about the 6-liter is because they're like 300 horse out of the box, dead reliable. If you grenade it, you go buy another one for, insert your price here. I would say 6 liters, $1,000 you can probably get one. All day long, depending on mileage and what you're getting. But so I already got the harness there. We're gonna try to reuse the existing harness. I don't have a carburetor to deal with. I don't have a distributor to deal with. Both of those getting wet. And before anybody cries, oh, you got all these electronics to get wet. Here's an example of some of these connectors. These are Deutsch or WeatherPack or whatever you call it. They're sealed connectors. They're just fine. They're gonna be great. We're gonna get rid of the old EGR because 56 Pontiacs don't need that. It was a Hydro Boost setup, so we're gonna probably have to find a, well, we can just plug that off. But anyway, we'll be able to hook up our power steering, hopefully. I'm gonna either flip the manifolds around or find different headers that we can flip around so we can run the exhaust out the front, hopefully. We'll figure out the exhaust when we get there, but I'm gonna use what we got. And then also, if you get a 6-liter or any of these that are hooked to a 4L80E, they hook right up to a turbo 350. So I'm told. I have never hooked one up to a turbo 350 because I think it's silliness, because built right into this harness is all the controls for an overdrive. And overdrives are great. They go really great with fuel injection and coil on plug setups and all that stuff, because you got to have a ECU to run one of these anyway. Don't put a carburetor in your LS, and don't put a direct drive. Put an overdrive and leave the fuel injection. But in a mud truck, we don't need overdrive. So this would be a good application. And tech tip, you can use a 4L80E flex plate and hook it to a turbo 350. So the internet says. I'll let you know. But a 4L60E flex plate, you got to have a spacer and a bushing and adapter. So if you're going to buy all that, just buy a 4L80E flex plate and carry on with our lives. Obviously the starter's missing, but I should wash it off. We probably won't. This turbo 350 is actually less grimy than most of my stuff. But yeah. Oh, this is a 203. Easy way to tell. They got this big section right here. That's like gear reduction, and that's non-existent on a 205. It's only on the 203s. Looks like it was behind a 78 30. I don't know. Looks like some junkyard writing on there. So hopefully it's good junkyard stuff. But we're gonna mate that to that, and then I got these adapters. They work quite well. So you can get these on eBay, Amazon, Speedway, wherever. And these 4 bolts bolted up to the LS, and then I wish I had a clamshell style motor mount here, but anyway, use these 3 bolts. Let me put them in the locations that they should be in. But you can bolt the clamshell right up to it, and then you got, well, 2 different locations. Anyway, you got some adjustability. They make ones that slide. Dirty Dingo, I think, makes those, but anyway, we'll put those on our frame. We'll put our clamshells on there. And then we got a couple of different options, but I think those are the ones we're going to use because that's a stock small block Chevy application. You can tell by the way I circled them in marker, so I should probably get a new set of those coming. But anyway, these are like, I'm shooting from the hip, $60, and they work really good for just adapting clamshell small blocks to LS. And then it should bolt right in. Speaking of bolting right in, if you do drop one of these in a square body, you're going to have to clearance for the exhaust if you run the stock manifolds. But another reason I want to flip these up so we don't have to notch the frame, and also so that it gets that exhaust up and out of the engine bay for less heat. And cool factor, Big Chief, gonna be real cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the cherry picker out, lift this thing up, hook it up, get our torque converter hooked up. Yeah, and then we'll be ready to roll that thing back in here, take the body off, and set our engine and transmission in place, get that figured out. Hopefully our holes line up for our transmission crossbar. If not, I'm pretty sure I'm capable of drilling 4 7/16 holes to mount it. And then we're ready to cut out the bottom of the body and get the body set in place. Yeah, I need to pressure wash the body out. It is disgusting. Let's show you that. So I don't know if I showed you guys this that well, but the floors in this car are actually existent. The seat is loose. I found the headlight bezels and buckets. They're laying in the car. Still got to get the trunk open. There's a spare tire in the spare tire location, so I can't cut that out until well, I guess I can, but you know how that'll go. I'll cut into the tire. I got the doors open last night. I don't know what this access hole was for here. Is that where the battery was? But there's the headlight rings. But yeah, there's a pretty good layer of dirt in here. And we should probably clean that all out of here before we mount it to the frame and then get it all over our LS and stuff. But the seat's loose. It's there at least. Let's get that out of there, get the headliner out, and get her cleaned up. Because you want to have a clean mud truck when you start, right, Duff? Yeah. I mentioned that this thing's a hardtop, so there's no B-pillar here with all the windows down. This thing has pretty swanky interior. A little two-tone tuck and roll action. Deck pad base. Yep. Oh, so much dirt. This thing was in the blow sand. So anyway, that's what's going on. We're gonna hook a 6-liter up to a turbo 350. We're gonna pick up the mouse house that's laying on the ground. We're gonna take a body off so we can set that stuff in there, the turbo 350 and the 6-liter in the frame, and then we're gonna clean out the body and do a bunch of torching on the bottom. So see you in a little bit. There you go, she is assembled. Gotta hook up our torque converter yet. I stole the manifolds off and one more stud broke off over there, so we got 3 to fix if we were to fix them per se. But we also got the engine mounts on there, and I never noticed this, but see how that has got that little U shape and it's stamped out this way. And this one's got a whole triangle stamped out that way. Well, some of them are stamped in, and those are the ones you need to clear these bad boys. We got a little divot in there, but it's not big enough. So, good thing I saved way too much junk and have spare clamshells around. Otherwise, I suppose you could grind that down or cut it out and weld it back in, or just cut it out. But be aware, there's several different clamshells. Make sure you got the ones that are, this one's greasy, you can't tell, but dented in and not out like these ones are. Anyway, this thing's inside, and I think we can get it to sit about 6 inches lower. Yeah, that's right. My mud truck sits too high. But you can see how it's right on top of that frame. If we cut that cross member out of there, it'll come down, and then I think we're gonna have to cut out that spare tire like I talked about earlier. And then we gotta cut off these stubs of the frame horns up front, and that'll get her sitting right down where it is. I like a big tire to fill the hole, so let's lift this thing up, see if we can't burn the shop down tonight. And when we get that off there, maybe we can stuff a motor and transmission in it. Got it! Mostly. Holding it. Ha! Park brake cable. These park brake cables will get you every time. So much room for activities. Even left the brake pedal stuff, you know, so that we can do brake things. Alright, time for a sandwich break. On the tire iron. Well, on the tire too. Still got the holder up there. Suppose it's a 13/16 like the lug nuts? Yeah. Good guess. But does it fit out the bottom? Oh, so close. She's a Firestone. Oh, she's gum dip even. It's a shame somebody hit it with the Sawzall. It's not gonna fit an 8 lug anyway. A couple of 2x4, no, 2x6s. What a deal, the factory bumper jack. Somebody out there probably needs the bumper jack. Look at that nice red paint. Oh, she's nice in there. Boy, critters didn't make their homes. This guy was prepared for all the flat tires, the bumper jack attachment. Well, this should make it easier to open the trunk, I would think. Oh yeah. Actually pretty clean. Got a pretty solid floor too. You guys want to open that for me real quick? That'd be great. Did you clean the shop up? No, you didn't put all the tools away. We had to set the body on it. Mainly so we could take a look, see how she fits. I really wish we had a set of tires that match on the front. Sitting pretty good in the back. This thing looks pretty good. I even don't mind where the tow hitch ended up or how it looks. Got our wheelbase figured out. And yeah, I like it. Remember I said if you used a 4L80E flywheel, ouch, watch out for that pallet fork. Anyway, it's half a hole off, so we gotta grind out the flex plate for this one to work, or find the right flex plate. So that's awesome. Either way, we gotta take that apart, because getting in there with a grinder does not look fun. And it wasn't that hard to bolt up there, so we'll just unbolt it. Take it off, ream it out to the right diameter, put her back together with some Loctite. It's a new day. It rained last night. You can tell by the water on the floor. So I'm guessing all the dirt that's in the car is now mud. But anyway, we got the Turbo 350 split from the LS. Let me show you the debacle. So the 4L80E flex plate, you can tell by the way that it is, it's got more metal. It's got this shim and spacer so that it lines up on there. You can tell it's going to work just perfect. Other than the holes are over a half a hole off. So I'm going to try re-drilling and then tying them together as opposed to reaming. I don't know. We'll do one first, see how it goes. Good news is we got 2 sets. We only used 3 of the 6. So I'll let you know how she goes. Also, if I cared about this thing, I would probably put a rear main seal in it at this time, because it doesn't get much easier than that, but we won't. And you can tell it's a 6-liter by the way that it is.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
You know, I said I was going to be professional and drill them out. Nah, we use the reamer because there wasn't much there to drill. You guys knew that. Check this out. All our bolts fit. I know I got them through the wrong way, but I wanted to make sure everything fits. We didn't have to do it twice. You can see how much material we had to take out of there. It was more than I expected. It definitely would be a chore to come in from the backside and try to do that while it's on there. So pull it apart, do it right. I don't know that this is right, but everybody on the internet does it, so should be good. All right, let's throw this all back together for one last time. And then you're going to be a good Turbo 350 and hold up through all the mud and horsepower and shenanigans we put you through, aren't you, little buddy? Yeah. Oh yeah, I pulled the dipstick out. Let me pull this out, and it's burnt pretty good. Foreshadowing, I hope not. What do you guys think is going to break? I think we're going to lose a front drive shaft and the Turbo 350. Or I'm not going to be able to get my 6-liter to run, and we'll have to put a small block in it. So it'll be the LS stuff. We'll find out. All right, she's back together for hopefully the last time. We still got to put an inspection cover on it and a starter on it, but we can do that when it's in the poncho, the Big Chief. Now we got the Big Chief rolled up front. Let's go ahead and clean the interior. I'll get all the crap out of here just so we can get it dirty again, and save all the good stuff like the seats and the beauty rings and all that good stuff. And hopefully we find like a bunch of gold in here and stuff, and good decisions and financial responsibility. That's what we're looking for. Ooh, hey, a sun-kissed. That's a nice one. Ooh, she's ripe in there. I just went ahead and unbolted the trunk latch for now. Not a lot going on back here, just some interior that somebody made a nice little nest. Anyway, I'm gonna get to cleaning. What's your favorite music to clean to? Working at the car wash, yeah. No, that ain't my jam either. I don't know. Comment down below your favorite, just what's your favorite music to jam to in the shop in general? Golly, this thing cleaned up pretty good. There's a few holes over there on the passenger side. Well, and it's soft over here. Rusted out by the gas pedal. The floors are mostly there, other than this access cover for, I think there was a heater that sat under there and blew under the rear passengers. But a clean mud truck's a happy mud truck. Can't believe it wasn't rustier with all that dirt. Must have been in a dry climate, blow sand. I think it came from over by Edgeley, North Dakota. Look at that trunk. Just gorgeous. We'll put a piece of sheet metal right there, maybe cut her out of one of the rigs that we've been stealing stuff out of, so we don't get mud in there. And then we'll have a fuel cell. I don't know what we're gonna do for a radiator. It's gotta go back here, but we might have to take the trunk off. Maybe we'll put a pin on trunk so it looks cool and we can take it on and off easy. Who knows? We could leave it up like that, but it looks silly and it kind of blocks my visibility because sure, backing up happens a lot with mud trucks. Probably not. That's why we got no reverse lights. Anywho, we're gonna lift the body off here, roll the frame out, and drop the old LS in it. Good grief, it's almost a shame to make a mud truck out of this thing. But nobody would have bought it anyway. And we're committed at this point. So the old stick hoist here really struggled with the 348W block and the cast iron power slide out of the old 58 Chevy. So it's really not gonna like an LS with a turbo 350 and a 203 hanging way off the back. So we got old Raimundo over here. Let's see what Ray can do. Never mind the chain coming off the yoke and hooked to the other chain. We might die, but at least we'll get it on camera. Going up. Just the computer. Don't worry about that. Don't stand underneath it though. Well, so far so good. Now we just got to figure out how to get it from over there to over here without dying.
We're gonna unbolt these motor mounts, bolt them up here, and then just set the whole engine down. And then if it hits bolts here, that'd be great. Otherwise, we're gonna permanently attach it.
I feel like 88 to 98 mounts are different than 73 to 87. The bottom bolts wouldn't go in, and now I know why, but don't worry, adapt and overcome. This is what happens when you put an LS and a 56 Pontiac on a square body 3/4 ton chassis with 88 motor mounts.
You didn't find that on the internet somewhere?
I read on the internet that that flex plate would work. That, in fact, was a lie. Alright, the old 6-liter and turbo 350 and 203 are in place. Good news is front drive shaft should work. It's going to be about at the collapse, extended distance. Yeah, so Chin says we can't take her off any jumps and overextend it. And yeah, we'll do a little searching for a better one. But check this out. We got the old Miller mounts in there. But we are going to roll this under and start mounting the body. See if it fits. Got our dipstick mounted in place. I should throw that in there so I don't get filled full of crap so that we prematurely kill our poor little turbo 350, but let's do this. All right, now the fun part, we're gonna start mounting the body. Got Mojo helping us now. He's gonna work on the front cross member mount. We just discussed this, so I think here's our game plan. Here's the front cross member from the square body, and there's where the cross member is on the poncho. And if we get a piece of 3-inch angle iron or so, we'll go from here over to here, punch a couple holes in it, burn her into the frame or drill it or whatever we got to do. Should be good up there. We might have to put a couple bushings or spacers or something in there, but we'll figure that out. This is the front cab mount. I'm going to go ahead and cut the rivets off of that. We're going to knock that loose, and we're going to move it back here to where we need it to be, and then we're going to burn her onto the frame, and then we're going to burn it to the poncho frame. We don't have to worry about rubber mounts because it's a mud truck, and also we got the original rubber mounts in here, so we should be good to go using what we got. Of course, Mojo, he's grabbing angle iron because he's spending all our money. And then back here, I think we're just going to go ahead and cut off this angle iron that was used to hold the cooling tubes. And we're going to do something similar, flip it up, and then weld it to the frame, and then weld it to this spring mount. And that'll be good to go back there. Again, we got rubber mounts back here. And in the back, we're going to have to get a little creative. We got this stock cross member here, and then we got the frame rails here. It doesn't really line up with anything, so we'll have to put a spacer in there. We'll figure something out. I'm not too concerned about that back one. that can flop around. So we'll have one body mount in the front, and then 2 down the sides, and 1 in the back. So should be plenty good for what she is. Let's get to work. Baby hammer will do it. Got him.
Got him!
Here we go. Chin says it's gonna work. All I did was take this thing off, flip it upside down, cut a little notch in it. Now we're gonna go ahead and clean everything up, burn it in. The only thing I don't like is dirt's gonna sit in here, and this thing is gonna rust out. But that means that we got it muddy at least, so we got that going for us. Add a clean out hole if you're gonna build one like that. But I couldn't flip it the other way and do that because then you'd be cutting out all this structure here, so it's gonna be good. Make sure to clean out your body supports on your Poncho Via.
Alright, for these rear mounts or mid-car mounts, I cut this piece of angle iron off that they had here for something and flip it around and weld it back in. Show you what it looks like when it's done.
In case you haven't noticed, the whole team's working now. Mojo's making a front cross member. Got the driver's side burned in even. What do they call those? Rosette welds? Those are still hot. She's all burned in real good. And I'm gonna knock the rag joint off and see if I got a knuckle to put on there. So then we can just put a knuckle on the bottom of the existing steering shaft and we can steer. Yay.
Alrighty, here it is. Burned her in solid. Just give her a little notch, put her welder on the inside of this leaf spring mount, and then welded it to the frame of the car. Never mind my overhead welding skills, but it is very securely attached. Onto the back. Gotta nick this lip off, build a spacer in between here on both sides, and then weld those up. We're also gonna move this bumper back up to where it was. There's some extra holes here that match up on the frame, so then it'll be a straight shot pulling on the frame when this thing gets stuck, but it's not gonna get stuck. The back's all mounted up, got these little pucks in there that I cut from the scrap bin. I'll move the bumper up. What else are we doing?
Breaking news! Mojo helped me get the, well, it was a team effort. We got the pedal out. We're gonna take this chunk of frame rail and weld it on top of that frame rail and somehow adapt it to a square body master cylinder. See, this is why we don't do lifted vehicles. Real hard to work on. Unless you're doing like busted exhaust manifold studs or steering stuff. Drive shafts. Look at that. Body lifts are awesome, huh? We stole this out of that red pickup. And got a little splice action going on there because when you put a body lift on, you got to splice your transfer case shifter, and they did a better job of this than they did on the transfer case shifter. If they would have had to use that transfer case shifter much, that would have just went.
I'd have been stuck in neutral.
Let me guess, it's welded right where you need it to slide into place.
No, it's good. It's just
The ends are different.
the width or this bushing I might have to slice to be able to get the pin through the hole to lock it in place. It's also a little bit different diameter, but it still would work.
My great idea was to go to Speedway Motors and get the cheapest turbo headers ever. And so that's what I'm gonna do, is mount those. Working on lifted stuff sucks. All right, I'm gonna go get a step stool. And then I don't know what these things are. What brand are they? They got a V-band on the front so we can index things, and they'll probably not be, I don't know. Don't show my name on there. Ooh, and it comes with gaskets. I love headers, but you gotta have headers on a mud truck, unless you don't. Let's give you a little update here. Pretty good progress this afternoon. I got help from Mojo and Chin. They took off hours ago. I'm about ready to shut her down for the night, so I'm done welding because that's mainly what we got left. Well, I mean, we got everything. We got fuel, electrical. We got to do a radiator yet. We got things to do, but let me show you what got done this afternoon. We got steering that works. There's no bearing in the bottom of the column, so I'm gonna put a bearing here. I mean, it would work be good enough for a mud truck, but I'm leery about stuff like that. So got this little, I think I call them a pillow block or whatever. So we'll build a little standoff to put underneath there to firm that up a bit. Clears the headers. We did mess around with the shift linkage. Chin's got to redo all that because it's not functional right now, but we got the steering column mounted tight to the body. So again, we're using the original brake pedal, and then the bracket that it pivot off of, it's just tacked in place. We gotta gusset that all in and make it strong. But Mojo took this piece of plate, I don't know what it is, 2-inch wide by, what is it, 5/8, ½ inch, pretty good plate. And he got that figured out, drilled a hole there, and then we welded it right to the pedal. So should be good. This is forged, it's not cast, so you can weld to it. And we just use our regular rod. And then years ago, I lasered out a bunch of these plates to mount master cylinders. I wish I'd cut them thicker, and I'm about out of them, so we need to get Richard to cut us out some new ones. But anyway, that's where our master cylinder is going to sit. We'll have to cut a hole in the floor to fill it up, and we're going to have to gusset it up either this way or that way so that when we press on our brakes, it doesn't blow it right off the frame rail. It's going to be fun to weld up top there, but we'll get her. She's going to work good. I took the master off to get a couple better tacks on there, and tomorrow we'll make a bunch of plates, brace it up, and then we'll have brakes and steering. Still got a shorter rear drive shaft. I did get the front drive shaft installed. It's a little bit short, surprisingly, with a lift kit, but I think it'll be just fine. I got a starter installed. I rounded up a couple inspection covers. I'd like to have one of those on there just so this doesn't get full of trash. Try to keep as much debris out of there as we can. I think I showed you guys, I got that Speedway, I think it's a Flowtech header. They're about 300 bucks a pair. So yeah, we bought those, and then those steering joints, I don't know what they go for these days. These are the cheap ones, like 30 bucks on either end, and then the master cylinder, so we're in it pretty cheap. And that was all stuff I had around, and then that double D shaft for the steering, but it should have good enough steering and brakes to drive it up and down the highway if we really wanted to. All right, here we go. It's day 3, Wednesday. Picking away at this thing already. Working on some wiring. Go to lt1swap.com. We're going to use the stock harness. So I think this is A9 and B11. A9, we got to have key and crank power. And B11, we got to have battery power. And then there's one more pin that I had to change on this, I think it's C2 connector. We got to have key power on that one, and it comes out of this C100. One of these is C100, this one right here, C100. But anyway, instead of going in the cab and feeding it out, I just repinned it from F2 to B9. These things are super easy to repin. You pop out this blue clip and just pretty much push a little plastic tab back, pop the pin out, push it over to where you want. Bada bing, bada boom. And that's B9 that we moved it to. I don't know, I got my numbers all screwed up. Is for drive-by wire, which this thing never was. This is drive-by cable, so it already had power. But anyway, the wiring is pretty much done. We're just gonna run it off a loser switch for now. I threw a different coil pack on it, which those ones that are on here were round, and I put square ones on, so you gotta have longer plug wires. So I found some used plug wires in the old plug wire stash. I gotta find a freeze plug. Block off the old EGR 56 Pontiacs, don't need that. And now I'm gonna round up a battery, hook up some cables. Like I said, use the loser switch, do a little wiring, and hopefully we can get this thing to pop off today. For fuel, I got this neat little fuel cell. It's an eBay special. This guy, it's way bigger than what we need, but I need to round up a fuel return fitting. We got our pickup, rollover vent. We don't plan on rolling over, so we don't need that. It does have a gauge, but we don't need that where we're going. I rounded up some air intake parts. Don't worry about that some other time. For the fuel system, we're gonna run one of these old Walbro, I don't know, what are they, GSL 392s. I don't know. It's overkill for what we got, but we'll just run regular fuel hose onto a barb, and then we'll run a click style Bundy fitting and just some standard GM plastic fuel line. I got our fancy dancy crimper here from Dorman, part number 109-91-61. This thing's got everything you'd ever need, and these are the only fittings I've ever used, so we keep them stocked up. The old 3/8 straight. So I guess we need a 5/16 straight for the return side. But that's low pressure, so not too worried about that. So we just took our bump stop bracket, because we're not going to need those with a lift kit. Flip that upside down after we knock the rivets out, drill the hole. And that'll hold our steering. Should be good there. And for the brakes, we made a little bracket here and a bracket there. Got everything mocked up. We'll take that off, burn the original plate in, and then we'll burn that in and weld around that shaft. The pedal should be braced pretty well, and we just got to go on to the master. Time to do some welding. Whole bunch of welding later. We got gussets in here. We got a gusset on the backside that you can't see. I'll show you the pedal. Everything's all hooked up. We just got to put fittings on it and our lines, plumber in. Be ready to bleed some brakes. And we got our pillow block action going on up there for our steering. So brakes and steering are pretty much done. Well, gotta do our power steering hoses yet, and then bleed the brakes. We're making progress. I got the master cylinder all welded in there. We got all our plumbing ran for our brake lines, even shortened up the one going to the rear here. So we just got to bleed brakes and hopefully it stops. The motor's back here working on the fuel cell. I had some gas tank straps for a 54 Chevy that come with the car, 2 sets. And that car's long gone, so he's modifying them to hold this down. And then we got to do some plumbing and a little bit of electrical so that we got power to the pump. Speaking of pedals, Chin's working on a gas pedal. We just got a pedal out of a square body, and we're going to go ahead and screw that to the firewall. These work really good with the stock 99 to 02 LS throttle cables, so if you save these factory screws and you drill the right size hole, you can just screw them right into the firewall. Not have any nuts. You got this bad boy for a template. You just got to drill a hole for the cable and try to drill a square hole so it holds the cable, but you can fix it in other ways if you need to. And then we should have a throttle linkage. Oh yeah, we got the shifter working. Did you try it out, Chin?
I didn't.
It's so nice. Kind of. You kind of got to do the pull back and forth stuff. Probably because reverse is all the way at the bottom. Is that all of them? Low, second, drive, neutral, reverse, park.
Oh, there.
Yay! You don't want to know how much time we got into that, and it was a super easy fix, so never mind that. Oh yeah. Better make sure we fill that hole in the floor over there so we don't get mud in my Crocs.
Which hole? This one?
I was thinking about filling that one, and then I'm like, oh, what about all these? Never mind. It'll drain better. Look at that. Mojo took a perfectly good 54 Chevy gas tank. Mounted her. Even left a little room to suck her down, huh? Was that on purpose, or was that just an accident?
You gotta figure this all in
Yeah. Oh, okay.
when you're engineering this.
Engineering. Fabric-cobbling.
Fabric oven.
All right.
Good enough for who it's for, right?
That's good enough for the girls we go with anyway.
Okay.
And then when you're done with that, we should take a look at this trunk latch situation.
Oh,
We won't want that working because it'll be, then we don't have to cut a hole in our trunk to fill up the fuel tank.
tarp step.
I'm not against it,
Oh, okay.
but we got to do. How are we gonna do it? You gotta have an eyelet down here on each side so that you can have the tarp strap coming up. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Well, if we could have used a tarp strap for the trunk, we could have just as well held the fuel tank in with one too.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have heard my spiel on flare power steering lines, double flare versus O-ring. The earlier square bodies, 80 on down, or double flare, 81 on up is O-ring. These LSs are O-ring, and of course this one has the earlier one. But I do have a Suburban out back that we got from 7th Avenue Auto Salvage. Shout out to those guys. Go check them out if you need some late model parts in Fargo. But anyway, it's a 83, 84 Suburban, and that's got the power steering sector that we need so that we can hook it right up to that. We thought about TIG welding the hoses or changing fittings, but it should just be a direct swap. Should. So I'm gonna go grab that thing, get her drug out, so that we can swap that out, because you gotta have power steering when you're mud running. And also, you gotta have a power steering pump on an LS, otherwise they throw belts and overheat and all that, and we don't wanna be throwing belts at 7,000 RPM. So I'm gonna go grab that thing. So another donor vehicle in the mess here. I did verify, and it is the O-ring style fitting, so we got it out of there. Or you steal the one off the other rig. Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. Apparently we got a brake booster off of it. I don't remember what we got. I remember climbing in a snowbank one time to get something. Steal a steering column. I think it was half loose when I bought it. Anyway, apparently there's a critter living in it, because Duff's been quite interested. Aren't you? She's squishy, but Suburbans are good storage. Anyway, we'll kick her back out in Skid Row once we steal a steering sector out of that and set it inside there so it's ready for the next one. I wish she'd have been a little more helpful pulling that thing.
Got the gas pit all put in there and bent up. Mortske did some fine tuning on it. I had to redo it, so that's my goodness.
Not surprised.
Whatever.
We do it right because we do it twice.
That's my motto.
That and everybody Wang Chung tonight.
That's my motto. That and everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Mojo's got the fuel cell all mounted up, and he's got our trunk latch rework. We just got to remember to bring a screwdriver with. So yeah, we just gotta fill a hole and do everything else. Got the steering box installed. Yeah, if you're gonna do a swap and put an LS in a four-wheel drive, and you're gonna do what I did, make sure you get the rag joint, because these are a 30 spline on the O-ring, 81 and newer, versus a 36 spline on the early ones. So you're gonna need a different rag joint or different knuckle, but I had one on hand, so we're good to go. Gonna put a cotter key in here, and then we're ready to do some plumbing, and we should have power steering. All right, we're doing things up here. I gotta find power for the fuel pump and one other thing, and yeah, that's definitely temporary. But floor pan patching, pole barn style. We had some burnt up, I don't know, appliance of sorts, but yeah, now we got nowhere to throw our empties. You're still hoping whatever critter is in that thing comes out. But yeah, it's unfortunate. The trunk pan is really nice in this car. Good thing we got a hold of it. Oh, we should cut a hole in the trunk and then put like a 38-inch spare back there. That'd be pretty neat, huh? All right, here we go. Chin's already on hot sauce duty. He likes breathing it in.
Extra strength.
My pillows smell like starting fluid again this morning.
Get it in the hole, the starting fluid hole. You missed it. There you go. That's cool.
Okay, it's good enough for me. We need to get fuel pressure.
It's making coughing noises.
You can put it out with the Modelo's.
Oh yeah. I'll drink this first and then pee on it.
It'll do LS things. Okay, are you gonna do that? I don't know that it'll run for more than like 3 seconds anyway, because the whole VATS thing. It smells like ether.
Smells like chloroform.
Excuse me, do you think these bar napkins smell like chloroform?
It's alive!
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
It'll go. Want to bet how many injectors are stuck?
Oh, except for those 3.
Except for... What do you think about them LS's, Mojo? Double thumbs up! Whoa!
It's stinky.
All right, it'll run. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and fire up the old injector bath because they're gonna be stuck from ethanol. While we've been screwing off, Duff's been over here. Fuel pump's mounted. Return line is returned. This is vacuum hose. I need to find some fuel hose, but this is the nice plastic stuff with the good dormant ends. So we should be good there. I think we're ready to test her out. We gotta do a breather yet though, or a rollover vent. Otherwise, it's probably gonna be real unhappy when the tank gets a vacuum on it. But I think progress has slowed. All right, nothing good's happening here, Duff says.
So, we're fixing this.
We're fixing it?
And
We're gonna take the injectors out and we're gonna... You playing with the dipstick, Jimmy?
Why are we playing with the dipstick? We have a fit stack.
So helpful. We're gonna take the injectors out and we're gonna clean them. All right, 4 done. You gonna get the 4 on that side?
We're just fixing.
We're fixing to put a hole in the intake with our Crocs.
What are we gonna do with the mud truck?
Driving in mud.
Driving the mud.
And do donuts.
Well, you guys are a lot of help.
Yeah.
All right, injectors are out. That stuff stinks. That fuel is from November of 2019. Oh, Mrs. Spooky brought pizza. Took the kids home. We're baking some injectors over here, ain't we, Duff? Gonna run those through there for a half hour or so, maybe longer. But anyway, we're gonna go pick up another mud truck and steal the tires off it. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're bringing waters with. Those are stacks. Oh, that's a snorkel. Yep. I was way off. Dang, you got a K5 Blazer, Kubotas.
You got a VMAX Yamaha?
Oh, with the pogo sticks on the side?
Dang.
This is heaven. Can I move in with you? He says it'll start. Oh, look at that clevis on that ranch hand.
There's no battery in it.
Oh. This thing is nice. How many tires are up? None. Oh! Radio just a blaring? We're gonna get demonetized from that. Oh! Worst case scenario, we're taking this thing. So much water and mud came out of those things. I might have to steal your windshield washer system. That's pretty elaborate. Works good. Does it?
Hit the switch again, would you?
On off. Oh, this tire's flat. It ain't going. Oh, I suppose he doesn't have 4-wheel drive because that CV shaft. Poor little guy. Well, got her loaded up. Real good tires we're getting out of this deal, it appears. This one blew out on the way up. One of them holds air. You know what? I'm gonna leave you here. Well, we had to go ahead and try and fit him up. Look at that. Look at the moves you got there.
That's all in the legs.
It's in the leg. Lift with your legs. Looks pretty good. Got some lug nuts on there from the old lug nut guys. Go check them out, lugnutguys.com. Play with your nuts.
Oh, pretty good playing with nuts.
You're terrible at mud car. Mud car, come on.
Mad Max.
Do it for Dale.
I love Dale. He died when I was like in 2nd grade.
Was that 2000?
To hit the wall. I never voted for that wall because the wall killed Dale.
Wall killed Dale. I don't know, it's quite a bit wider. But that's the way Pookie likes his women.
Wide, quite a bit wider.
Big stance. Power stance.
All that baby making things.
Oh, all right. We need to. We're shutting the camera down for the night. All right, here we go. Thursday. So day 4, we're calling it. Last full day tomorrow. I got to go pick up the guy who won the slob. That's right. That thing's going away. We got her all cleaned up, ready to go. We got some fresh tint on the windows. That thing is headed for the desert for its new owner to enjoy, and they're driving it home. Also, we got some guys, another YouTube channel, I think it goes by Smoke and Roo. They're coming to get the 67 GMC that's LS swapped, so that'll be one more LS swap leaving the yard because we love LS swaps. That's going to, I think they're out of Texas. Let's get after it. I'm going to try to bend some 3-inch exhaust pipe. I've never bent 3-inch on this, so we're going to see what we can do up there. I feel like we got to shorten the headers a little bit. I want to bend them out and shoot them out the fenders here, and I think we can shorten them up about, I don't know, 1.5 or 2 inches right here. So we might have Chin cut those down, move them back, and see what we can do, but I'm going to try bending it first. Otherwise we're going to have to come out up here. We got to tie up the plug wires because they're on there. I got to put the fuel rail back on, but I want to clean that because there's a bunch of crap in it. Yeah. A lot to do, but radiator is going to sit right in here. You're going to have to cut the core support right down there to sneak the lower radiator hose. The upper, we'll probably have to do the same thing over here. I don't know. We got to figure out where the exhaust is and all that good stuff. And then we got to put the bumper on the front and the grill. We gotta get some hood pins on there for the hood. Lots to do. Lots to do. So let's get after it. I'm gonna grab some exhaust pipe and try making some bends. All right, radiator is mocked in. This core support kind of bumps out, so I trimmed her out all the way right up to this support on both sides. This side we obviously had to run the radiator hose through. That side's just a petcock. But I think what I'm gonna do is try to run some angle iron underneath that. And that's how we're gonna mount it on the bottom. And then a guy should put a filler on there to make it so that the radiator is getting all the air instead of shooting air through there, and that'll also hopefully keep mud from going through there. So yeah, we should probably angle it that way so that it pulls air and that all the mud gets wedged right there. And then we'll make a couple brackets up top here. Yeah, if we get crazy, build a shroud. LS's, they don't care about heat. All right, getting after it. Mojo's over here making a battery bracket out of bed frame. He must be proud of it. Had to go show it to Chin. Oh yeah, we got to do a little welding on the 6.2. His throttle bracket needs some modification for the aftermarket throttle cable. What are you doing in here? Washing the battery box?
Cooling it down.
Oh, gotcha. Let's see your battery bracket.
See that?
Pretty good. Got to drill a couple holes and make some hold downs. Good to go. It even fits.
Yeah. See?
Now you just got to make some hooks for the tarp strap. Ratchet strap, rope, yellow nylon rope with a Windsor knot, double Windsor, like you do on your ties. You know how to tie a tie?
No.
No, me neither. Your generation's supposed to know how to do that.
The wife does.
Oh, well there you go.
Ain't very often I need it.
I say we only do that for weddings and funerals, and they're both pretty much the same thing.
Hey.
And I rounded up the radiator hose selection. Hopefully one fits in there so we don't have to use a flexi hose. I mean, although a flexi hose would be fitting for a mud truck, I think. I really wish these were white spokes. I don't like these wheels. Steelies would be best, but beggars can't be choosers. Is there room for it back here? Oh yeah, we gotta have room for our washer fluid. I think we'll put it up there because that's a nice spot up there on that ledge. And then we don't got to run so much copper all the way to the front of the car. And we got to see if we got room for our washer tank. And by washer tank, we got to go to the back of the work truck here. This 67 is good. We've been ruining this bed that we put in here slowly. BB needs to put another coat of used oil on it. We're going to put this bad boy in the back, and then we'll have to do some type of contraption like these guys got here to spray on the windshield. We might even steal that one, but he's got the pump back here. Unfortunately, the fitting is snapped off, and unfortunately, Stax hits his toolbox. That fitting snapped off. Otherwise, we'd steal that. Even implemented a boat tank. Fancy stuff. Maybe we'll just steal the pump off of this one and put on that tank. Well, I guess we should have put the fuel tank sideways up front. Where are you going to mount that at? I suppose we could steal his pump and put it on some different, smaller tank. Or I guess maybe we could raise it up and slide it ahead. We'll figure something out here. Alright, I think we got it figured out. We're going to put the battery up there. Ideally, we would have it on the right-hand side because it's 2 feet less cable, but we'll figure it out because we got to go to the starter. But since this tank is borrowed from neighbor Bob, we're just going to willy-nilly mount that. We're going to make sure it works first, but I think we're just going to run some wood screws and washers through the floor into that wood, and then a couple of screws in there. Maybe a tarp strap at the front or something. But if I was going to keep this thing long term, I'd like to have something different, more shapely. I think that's way too much water. Anyway, we're really mud trucking it on this thing. We got to take the wand off of this, and the nice part about it is we can wire it to the battery easy, but we're going to have to run the switch up front somehow. We don't want to run it all the time. Maybe if we get crazy, we can hook her up to the headlight switch or the wiper switch, or who knows, the radio. I wonder if this thing even had a radio. Surely it did because it's a Pontiac. Look at this. Radiator is in place. Still got to do overflow, hook up the top radiator hose. I'd like to put some brackets down here to keep it from coming ahead, but use some stock rubber mount. So it's rubber mounted. Just put a piece of angle iron up there. Clearance it out, drop a piece of angle iron in there, weld it in place. Should be good and stout. Pretty much all stock stuff. Stock transmission cooler lines are hooked up. I got our lower radiator hose in place. No flexi hose needed. Working on the upper, but we got to deal with the fan, the exhaust, the belt, the air intake, the mass airflow, all that stuff. So I think I'm gonna just take a break from doing the radiator hoses, because those are, we can do different stuff with that. Oh yeah, we got to do the steam vent too, but I think I'm gonna go try to bend some 3-inch exhaust, see how tight of a bend I can get, see what we can do up here for the old exhaust. RIP Pontiac car sport. Had to take the radiator all back out, and we're doing things. We're gonna cut up some brand new headers, because headers never fit. That's why I hate headers. And they're also gonna do header things like burn off my spark plug wires. If we were real serious, we'd probably move those coil packs to the bottom of the block while I'm running the water. Anyway, there's about 2 inches that I can cut out of these things to narrow them up. Let me show you what I got going on here. I can only bend 73 degrees in my bend pack bender. Yeah, the radiator's in there, so we gotta move her back a bunch. So that's what we're gonna do. Shorten up some brand new $300 headers. It's gonna work. It's got to. Can't wait to cut up probably the only new set of headers I'll ever buy in my life. Sorry, brushed stainless steel headers. Alright, ruined a set of headers, but I'm getting excited. I think we're just gonna ixnay the turbo flange now. We'll save those V-band clamps, whatever, and if we ever decide we need these headers, we can just cut these off and weld them back on. But anyway, I got her tacked in place. So, check this out. Should have room up here for the radiator. I don't know why. I probably didn't need to do that core support like I did, but I did. So, it's over, done with. I saved the piece. We can weld it back in. Definitely won't be doing that. Got her snuck through there, 4 1/8 inch hole. That was not fun to drill. My shoulder's killing me. But now, gotta figure out where we're gonna run these. I think the old V8 emblem's gonna have to go, but maybe we can get a 3-inch hole right up in here. I want it real tight in there. That way it can just bang off the fender, and then we won't need a mount to hang it. But, yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Now we just need to figure out where that hole's gonna be, punch the hole, and then we'll make up a piece of pipe to fit, weld it all together, and we're ready to go mud running. Sweet! Sweet! It's gonna be good. If we ever get it done. But yeah, once the radiator's in and the exhaust is in, and we do the air intake, a lot of the stuff is done up here. And then, I don't know, my mind is shot. Once we get this side done, the other side will be easier because there's no air intake over there. That header sits further back. We already got all practiced up, so we know what we did wrong over here. That side will be better. Mojo's over here working on sprayer things. He got the sprayer running, had a bad switch. And Bob brought us over these fancy spray tips that shoot a nice pattern. So we're gonna have 3 of those. Should be good to go. Right, Duff? Yeah. Look at that. That one don't spray as good. Yeah, put that one on the passenger side. There we go. You got that one cleaned up? Gonna try that one instead? Yeah, that one's defective. We want our money back. There. Hold on. Hold on. We have. Where's the? We're going with a 3 3/8 hole, so we got 3/16 all the way around. We'll use that one until we find it. So I think we're gonna come out real close to that V8 emblem. Chin's gonna eyeball it. Oh yeah, I think you can do that. You hold it. Let me look. This is critical here. This is the hardest part about the whole build. Yeah. Which I can trim out there. I can turn it off. Okay. Or level it out. Yeah. Well, then that's the flattest spot, so it's easiest to bite. All right. I like that spot. All right, we're committed. We're doing it.
We're really doing it, though, aren't we, buddy?
Both fenders have whammies, but this one's definitely the nicer one.
This one, the trim's good on. The bottom's all messed up. See, it's really bad.
It's bad.
Should I hammer a hole right here so you really don't like it?
Yeah, we should do this with a dull chisel. Play Sarah McLachlan.
Rip the
in the arms Arms of an angel.
Rip the band-aid.
No, not there. Sorry, Pontiac purists. Oh.
Now, with that hole, you'll be able to hear the sound of the V8 next to the V8 logo.
So, how far should we stick it out? 13's an unlucky number.
12 and a half.
12 and a half. I want it to be just like barely,
Okay, yeah.
like we're professionals. Just kidding. We're not.
What are you talking about?
Oh, check that out. She's a little tight on the bottom, but that was a lot of messing around. And then I tried to trim it around, so it's had the perfect gap all the way around. It's not bad, although the pipe's now cut at a silly angle, but we'll figure that out on the other side. Pretty good. Had to put a little bend to get her to come up, and then we welded her in there. Did a pretty nice job of welding that. I think we could even put the core support back in there if I really cared, but I don't. All right, next side should be easier from what we learned over there, and based that side's further back. We got to do a little body work on this fender, or not. And yeah, I'm exhausted. Check back once that one's done. Even put the header gaskets in there and most of the bolts. So, real good. Better do a little body work before we drill our hole over here. I'd hate to ruin a good fender. I was worried about that. Just can't have nice things. Guess what? Somebody who buys literally anything from mortske.com, the dates listed below, may get themselves a Pontiac Strato Streak V8 emblem in their package. Idiot. No, mad. Way better. Oh, finally, exhaust is done on this side. Of course, the geometry is different because that cylinder, well, the front cylinder, header is back further, so I had to put a little bit more of a bend to get her ahead. But the good news is we didn't have to cut the old core support, and we got to use the fancy V-band. How neat is that?
How neat is that?
She is tight though, but exhaust is routed and done. All right, let's throw the radiator back in here and get that set in place, and then start doing the upper radiator hose and the air intake. Radiator is in. I want to get that air filter in the cab, so I'm going to cut a giant, I don't know, 5-inch hole in the firewall so we can get the air filter in there so it doesn't suck up all the icky mud. So I think I need an elbow here and an elbow here, and then a whole bunch of straight going to there, and maybe a little straight in between. So I got these fancy kits on Amazon, eBay. Definitely won't remember to put the link in the video description, but anyway, that's what's on my Camaro. So each one of these notches, I guess you cut between the groove, and those notches is what holds your coupler. Sucks they don't come with a bunch of 4-inch couplers and hose clamps, but we got some stuff laying around. So anyway, we're gonna probably use this 90 here. I think there's 2 90s on here. Where's the other one? Over there. So that'll probably be the long straight, and then this will be like the short straight in here. So we'll probably cut her right there, and there, and there, and there, and then we'll need a pile of couplers. And we gotta get the mass airflow sensor in there somewhere, which is right here. So, should be fun. Wish me luck. The good news is the HVAC, I don't remember unhooking heater hoses other than the ones under the seat. Anyway, it's wide open underneath the glove box at the passenger's feet, so we don't have to worry about gutting that stuff or ruining it. So we'll just have a big hole to patch when we restore this thing someday. Just kidding. We're never restoring it. It's way better now than it ever was. Remember, kids, measure twice, cut once. Good grief. Use your bandsaw, not a sawzall. Now I got 2 fittings instead of 1. All right, cut this off, and then this drop is going to go up. And then we're gonna hook this one onto that one, go through the firewall, right? Right, don't cut it in the wrong spot again. Sure? Yeah. All right, it's like playing with big kid Legos. So this kit, I don't remember how much it was. It was kind of expensive, like $100. But anyway, if you were like super professional, you'd buy these bends and then you'd TIG weld them all together from aluminum and then polish it when you're done. But not professionals. Not professional mud truck guys yet. Well, that excitement was very, very short-lived. So this is why this kit works on my Camaro, because it's got, you guessed it, electric fans, which I just took off of this radiator. So yeah, that's the problem with the way the air intake comes and hits that. I'd really like to just flip the intake around. You can do that, and then the throttle linkage should work out, but I already ran the fuel lines. I don't want to take that intake off. You gotta redo the wiring because everything gets flipped around. So, I guess back to the drawing boards. Dang it, I was so excited about these guys. All right, we're definitely not putting an electric fan on it because we need that thing to move all the air. All right, yeah, I know, everybody's screaming, just put an electric fan on it. No, I'm not gonna have an electric fan on a mud truck. It's silly. Who would put a bunch of electrical on something that's gonna go get muddy? Not this guy. So somebody's gonna ask, why don't you use a stock air intake? Well, here's the deal. Stock intakes, they get that nice tight bend right there, but then they got this big old doohickey hanging off the bottom, and that is gonna get into our new exhaust. So I know you could cut that off, but then I can't weld plastic, and I suppose I could duct tape it up. But then it's also pointing out that way, so you still need an elbow. But look at this. This is a K&N kit. I don't know what it's off of or where it come from. Probably for a 9906 Chevy pickup. But I think if we cut that right about in there and put a splice with an elbow, that'll work even better. It's got this nice tight bend here to clear our fan. And then we punch a hole in the firewall, you know, about right in there. Make sure we got access to our dipstick. Good to go. All right. Let's cut it. Let's do it in, I don't know, maybe the Sawzall, the band. Let's cut it in the bandsaw. That seems like a better idea. I'm gonna try to make a hole right about there. If I try drilling from the outside, I won't tear my freaking shoulder off. Whew. Tell you what, these Lennox bits are real good. Did ruin the 4 1/8, so we had to go to 4 1/2. So a little bit bigger than I wanted to go. But man, these things catch in combination with the old Milwaukee fuel. I'm gonna need rotor cuffs or rotator cuff. I don't know. My shoulder's shot now. I don't envy you electricians and plumbers and such that drill holes all day long. All right. Man, that looks good. Now we just got to get our mass airflow sensor and an air filter in there and some wiring for said mass airflow sensor, and we'll be in business. Wow, I got all the help from all the golfers today. Anyway, all the plumbing is done for the air intake. It went pretty good. I only blew up both my shoulders. We're good to go there. The belt is on. Mass airflow is installed and hooked up. Air intake is hooked up. Yeah, I think we're ready to do some wiring. Yay, wiring. Woo. Tell us a stepladder joke that you don't get. Got any good jokes for us?
How do you make a Kleenex dance?
Put a little boogie in it. Yeah. I already heard that one. How do billboards communicate? Sign language.
Oh.
Look at that. Would you look at it?
Would you look at this?
Got our mass airflow in there. We got our fancy K&N in there. I don't even know if we're gonna need any bracketry to hold it in place. Pretty solid. Well, not really, but look at that. Can't even see it. you'll be hearing it through the radios, which it does have the deluxe radio. God dang, this thing's coming together. All right, battery cables are run, drilled a hole in the trunk, ran some cables up. I bought some big long 4 gauge cable. I don't know if that's enough for 4/0. Anyway, it's a little bit light, but really the biggest draw is gonna be the starter, and then the fuel pump should be wired up basically. I mean, it's sitting right next to the battery, so we'll just have a relay running to that, so it shouldn't take much power to run. Let me show you these cool battery cable ends I got off Amazon. My review isn't that great on them. The positive isn't big enough diameter, and the negative is too small diameter, so you can't get it to clamp tight. And yes, I got them the right way, but it's kind of neat because it's got a bunch of different ports you can plug into. So let me show you. So here it is. But anyway, you could put a pretty good sized cable here, and then 2 smaller cables there. It's kind of a neat setup if you got a lot of electronics. It's a pretty sweet deal, but yeah, I can't get this one as snug as I want, and then the positive won't go down far enough. Anyway, yeah, we got electrical. So, if we run a couple jumper wires to the fuel pump, this thing should pop off, hopefully. The VATS is still hooked up, so it's not gonna run very long, but let's see if we got any fuel leaks, I guess, first. All right, here we go. Let's give some juice to the old fuel pump. I pumped about 5 gallons of fuel in there. No leaks on our brand new RCI fuel cell. I'm guessing that's the brand. Not a paid promotion. Here we go. It's going pressure. Let's go check for leaks. We should be able to hear it pumping back in the return. It should be going over the relief, but let's run up front quick. I'm gonna run up without you. All right, no leaks. I can hear the fuel running by the fuel pressure regulator, so we're good. I am sick of going up and down ladders. No leaks. Pretty much the only spots it can leak is here, at all 8 injectors, obviously on the return side, and then the connectors back there at the pump, but I don't see those leaking, so let's see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't knock me off my stool. And this is why we don't do 4-wheel drives and lifted vehicles. Because it's like living in an apartment on the 11th floor and the elevator's broke. All right, here we go. Let's hook up power to the ECU. Again, we only got VATS, so it should only run for a second. It would be great if it ran longer, but I'm just gonna crank it over without the ignition hooked up, just to make sure we got clearance for our fan.
2-4.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Should be good. Here we go. Come on, baby. Slingshot engaged.
Slingshot engaged.
Almost. Oh yeah. I thought it would run longer than that. I don't know what would be leaking. There's no coolant in it. The tranny is probably about empty. Yeah, baby. Oh, I wish I had another ECU so bad. It's only gonna run that long until I get an ECU that doesn't have the VATS in it. It is 10:30 at night, so I need HP tuners, and I don't want to pay for it and or learn how to run it. So I'm not gonna get any help tonight. It's really hard to tell if it's running good or not. It's running though, so we'll take that as a win. All right, I gotta find an ECU to steal. Hold on, let's kill the ignition and our fuel pump. I'm gonna grab a 7mm in a socket and see what we can steal for ECUs. All right, got it. Let's swap it out. Probably gonna want the seals to stay with the connectors. Oh yeah! So really there's pretty much just 2 ECUs as far as I know. There's drive-by cable and drive-by wire. One's blue and I don't know. I don't know the colors of the connectors, but if you go by the colors of the connectors, this is blue and a red, and I think there's either a green and a blue or a green and a red. I don't know. It's literally just a matter of pushing those 2 connectors in there and snugging up a couple of 7mm head screws. So this computer is out of my 1969 Camaro. It's got a 5.3 with a cam. We had it tuned down in Oklahoma. I bought it in Oklahoma. It was a done-ish car. We're putting some houndstooth interior in it. We're waiting for the front seats to get done. We just got done rebuilding the front suspension. Interior is gonna be real good. The car is a basket case, but it's freaking awesome to drive. Anyway, this is a 5.3 computer. This is a 6.0, but that 5.3's got a cam in it. Anyway, it should be better than that one. We'll find out. Let me hook up a fuel pump. Can't run it for too long because the plug wires are laying on the headers, and we gotta figure that out. Also, we got no coolant in it. Should check the trans, but let's see what happens. Here we go. Slingshot engage. This is gonna be so good. Duff is not happy about it. Man, we gotta do something about these plug wires. Frickin' headers. Ah, that is a good feeling. It's running rough. I don't know, you can't tell because the open headers. I also got no oxygen sensors, so it's gonna be in closed loop or open loop, but probably not a big deal since how it's not warmed up anyway. But we're burning them plug wires off, and it's not the right tune. I don't know if that tune in that cammed up 5.3 is gonna be different from the old 6.0. I don't have a lot of options for computers, so this one's the one we gotta use for now. Tomorrow, we're gonna get a better one. But yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and I'm gonna pick some stuff up and have a sandwich. See you guys tomorrow, unless I decide to keep cranking it out. But I had a big day tomorrow. All right, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready for another 18-hour day. I stuck around last night, picked up some tools, cleaned up the shop. I had to set that bumper in place. We got to get that mounted and a hitch on the front, but oh, I also found some headlight bulbs, and of course, all the stuff was there to put them in place. Check it out, it looks so much better. Can't wait to get that hitch on there and that bumper mounted. Throw a couple hood pins in it. I lubed up the hood latch, so I think we'll be able to latch it up there, and then we'll just put a pin on each corner in the back. This thing's gonna be real good. I even hooked up the headlights. Well, hooked up the connector. We'll have to figure out some wiring, but I don't really like the old like halo lights where they're like green or blue or change color on the outside, but I think they would actually look pretty sweet on the old poncho here. Anyway, we got another big day. I have to take off shortly to go to the airport to pick up our anonymous, yes, that's right, they chose to remain anonymous, winner for the slob. They're excited about it, just wanted to remain unnamed, and I'm gonna honor their wishes. So I'm excited to meet them and pick them up. But anyway, that means 3 hours of driving to the airport, and then we'll probably have to, you know, give them a tour and take them out for lunch and all that stuff. So my day is short. That being said, I need to go get an ECU program on the way to pick them up for this thing, and I got a list for Mojo, and I need to make a drive shaft because Mojo is capable. Mojo can do anything, but if it's gonna get screwed up, I want to screw it up myself. So let me show you what I did last night. Did a bunch of measuring. I did a lot last night behind the scenes, and by a lot, I was thirsty. So we got to be 49¼ inches at ride height. This in the center of its sliding stroke here is 59.5. So we got to take 10¼ inches out, right about there. So you guys have seen it before. We're gonna cut through the weld, knock this chunk out. I'm gonna cut 10¼ off, slam it together. We're gonna throw it inside of that rig. We're gonna clamp our dial indicator on that cool little, I don't know, protector. Keep your drive shaft from escaping thingy. And we'll get her nice and true and straight. But look at this, speaking of true and straight, that universal joint is vertical. Look at that one. Not so vertical. So we gotta slide it on the splines. I don't know why people do that. This thing had to vibrate. I mean, and this thing's gonna be super smooth with those unbalanced 38-inch boggers. Bada bing, bada boom. Now the easy part. go, one shortened drive shaft. Now unbalanced. We'll definitely weld that balance washer back on. Right where it belongs. Whew, there we go. Now we just gotta true it up. Mojo says we gotta get back to work, so the old slob is leaving. If they don't run into my... when somebody wins a pickup and doesn't know how to drive a manual. Gosh, got no reverse. We got him good. It's gonna be a long drive back to the desert if they can't figure out how to drive that manual. Just kidding, they definitely know how to drive a manual. Or they're gonna figure it out, because can't remember what they said, 1,400 miles? All right, kind of sad to see that one go, because that was a really good pickup. Anyway, hopefully they don't go left, because there goes the state patrol. There it goes. Let's see if they can catch second gear leaving. Uh-oh. Don't pass the state patrol. Oh, I think it sounds good. All right, now we can finally get back to work. Hey, train.
Squirrel!
All right, what'd you get done while I was gone? We got brakes?
Got break.
We got brakes. We got fluids all filled.
Yeah.
I need to finish a drive shaft.
Yep. And then the wiring.
You got some switches wired under the dash, I see.
I got some switches.
You got a roll of red wire. We're gonna wire the whole damn thing in red. If it ain't red, leave it in the shed, right? That's what the Alice Chalmers guys say.
There you go. If it ain't red, leave it in the shed.
You marked off everything on the list so you can go home. Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so I got the drive shaft shortened before I left, but I got to weld it up. So got our dial indicator clamped in. Got her within 10 thou. Way too good for a mud truck. Well, never mind, 20 thou. It goes from 90 up to 10. And that's going to be plenty good for this crap box. So, let's burn her in, make her happen. Something I just thought of, you don't want any pinholes in your weld. And not for structural issues, but because if your drive shaft gets full of water, you're probably going to get some vibrations. And, you know, swampers aren't going to give it any vibrations, but we got a drive shaft. Yay! 2 drive shafts, actually. Alright, I've been doing a bunch of wiring. It's just kind of laying there so that we can test it out, but we're going to give her a whirl. Hook the battery cable up, see what happens. Apparently, the ignition is on. Or I got everything wired wrong. There we go. Alright, here we go. We're going to put her up in the air just in case the old transmission is going to do transmission things.
Oh yeah, this tune sounds way better.
How about our washer pump? Oh yeah! Alright, I'm gonna tie up a couple of switches here. I even put a breaker in there. That's right, it's waterproof. Alright, we're doing things. Locked in the front hubs. It moves forward and backwards. I don't know if the 4-wheel drive is working. The front drive shaft is spinning, but I don't know how these 203s work. The rear drive shaft wasn't spinning, so I don't know if the power goes to the ones that slip, to the ones that grip, or if our transfer case is shot. But anyway, got the transmission topped off, got the power steering topped off. The nerd herd left. They did help zip tie a few things up and run a little bit of wiring. We do have power steering, but we failed to acknowledge the location of the power steering pump. It's a little tough to fill with those headers. But the power steering works. We got the bumper mounted. Mojo got the hitch on while I was gone today. And run to the other end of the shop, top it off with coolant, aka water, because we don't know if it's going to hold it. And this is going to be a summer rig. We're doing things. I mounted the ECU to the firewall with some neat little brackets off of Amazon, and I zip tied the fused relay center through the inner fender there. It's not ideal, but we are about out of time, and the excess wire over there, I zip tied it all up. Rigid Customs tuned the ECU today when I went to go pick up the slob Gwinner, and that thing's working real good, it seems like. Without further ado, let's see if this thing moves. Yeah, hopefully it stops as well. Never thought about that. If this ran into a Toyota Camry, wouldn't be good. Also, it's kind of loud and my ears hurt from exploding tires the other night. So hard to even get into. I need a step. Well, it moves, and it stops. Good enough for a mud run. It's probably going to be one of the cooler ones there. I don't know. I saw a bunch of them today, and I ran to the big city, so there's some cool ones there, but this one's going to be one of a kind. Duff, you should have pressure washed this. It was a lot easier to take out when the car was lower. Don't that look cozy? If you were a raccoon in the middle of winter. Is that a big old blob of dirt? Yep. Don't worry. That's it's dirt padding. It's gonna get full of dirt anyway. I wish the rest of the seat, that's the bottom. The back is she's a little crispy, so feel bad for whoever has to ride back there. Hopefully it's not me. Anyway, I'm gonna go put some coolant in it. Cross your fingers. Hope for no leaks. Looks we got a random multiple cylinder misfire detected. I'm sure it's gonna say we don't have a check engine light. God, this code reader is terrible. We should probably get the good one out. Knock sensor circuit low. Well, I guess we should have deleted those. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, the check engine light not existing. Another misfire. So yeah, duplicate. So if we wire in a check engine light, and should have had them delete the knock sensors. And what's the other one? Misfire. Should probably throw some spark plugs in it. Let's delete them. See what happens. Obviously the check engine light ain't gonna go away, neither is the knock sensor. You gotta love how good an LS starts up. I don't care if you're a carburetor guy or a points guy or whatever, they just start up and run. Check engine light not existing. If we wire that in, we might get rid of them all. That was easy enough.
That was easy.
It's 1 a.m. The list is getting shorter. I put frickin' oxygen sensors in it. Yeah, we're getting crazy here. But I got the washer things on the roof. I don't know what you call them. I'm gonna set the hood on here, drill through the hood, into the cowl. We're gonna get some hood pins on this thing. I think I'm calling it a night or a morning. It's been a long one. Oh yeah, I stuck this giant clevis on the front. It used to be hanging from the ceiling in here. We got it down, set it in there. I don't know what else to do. We got a check engine light, we got an OBD port, we got a mess under the dash that I need to tie up. We got USB so we can charge our phones or, you know, hook up the GPS. Had to extend the wires on this side for the oxygen sensor. The other side was plenty long. No engine codes. Oh, I threw a new set of spark plugs in it. The old ones were NGKs, so they had been replaced. They had a great big gap. I think they're supposed to be like 40 to 45 thousandths, maybe 44 thousandths. These things were huge, so maybe that'll help. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's peppy enough. We want all the pep. And there's a ton of stuff that I wish we had more time to do. The wiring is an absolute nightmare because, of course, that was the last thing we waited to do. But I mean, it's solid. It's just not clean and tidy. So if I had another day. Story of my life. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. No more updates. It's time for a friendly. Somebody says it's time to shut her down. Guys, we are back out here. It is the crack of dawn on Saturday morning. I got some work to do. I am mentally and physically exhausted. Yesterday was a 20-hour day. I got another 4 hours of sleep last night. We're back at it again, and this thing's got a misfire, and I don't want to go there with a misfire. The only thing I can think that it could be is the coil packs or the spark plug wires. And yeah, there was some coils missing, and I swapped on another set, so I'm gonna try to find another set and put on there. I don't think it's the plug wires, because it's just when I like idle it around the yard. As soon as I put it in gear, I get a misfire. The check engine light starts flashing. And I don't want to go all the way to Vinny's with a misfire, so we're gonna try to figure that out. I gotta put fuel in it. I'm gonna grab a handful of tools. I gotta throw that rear seat in it, throw some moving blankets in it so that people, if they want to sit in there, you know, we're gonna recover them with Harbor Freight moving blankets. Anyway, I'm gonna do a handful of things here. Hopefully it doesn't drag out too long, and then we're gonna get on the road. I did get our hood pinned on. Yeah, I didn't spend enough time figuring out how to get them the right direction. What are you excited about this morning? Nobody's there. Anyway, I didn't clock it, and I should have got it further down, but either way, it's gonna keep the hood from flying off. Did a little body work there too. Oh yeah, speaking of body work, got our fender spear on and kind of touches the door. Well, the screw I put in, I should have put it a head further. I'm an idiot. Anyway, but they're stainless steel screws, so you can't even tell. Also, I was up there adjusting the spray nozzles last night. That's why it's back here, filling it up with water. And the side of my left foot caught one of these knobs on the tire, and I took a tumble and I landed on my left butt cheek and my left hand, mainly my butt cheek.
In the buttocks, I'd kind of like to see that.
Real hard. And I'm 40 now, so those falls hurt. I'm so sick of climbing up and down steps. This is why I lower everything. Easy to get in and out of. Easy to work on, but anyway, let's get this done. I know, Duff. You gotta stay here. And the wind is not gonna like this thing. Nugs, not drugs, kids. But we're loaded up. We're committed. We go in town, grab a breakfast sandwich, some ice for the cooler. Let's do this. It's been a long week. I'm ready. The misfire is still there after swapping coil packs and plugs and wires, so I brought some injectors with. That'll be fun to change out there, but it seems like it only does when it's sitting there idling, so maybe it'll come out of it. We just won't idle. We'll just keep clearing it. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we're out of time, so let's get on the road. Well, we made it. First square body. Benny decided to take the day off of shoveling grain out of the bin for Pookie to come over here. So I guess we're gonna get signed in, or whatever takes place here. So I guess if you don't want to take your big mud tires off, you just take the fenders off your trailer. Oh, look at that. He's got one tire on backwards, so he can back up. The right sides are on reverse and the lefts are forward. Interesting. All right, here we go. Benny, you should have washed the windshield.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
How many people want your body?
Just women.
Your car body.
Nobody. That's why I bought it for $300 delivered.
Jeez.
Right?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Love the patina, as they say.
Yeah. Just the way we like them. Yeah, wow. You as well. Guess we should have sold it.
Yeah.
This guy over here, of course, his junk's broken and a square body. He's got a old Puddin's Fab Shop shirt on. He said he never heard of the guy. He just got it at a garbage sale. It was too nice for a shop rig yet. 12 valve tunnels in that thing though, for an Allison. You got the cooler, Benny? That's all we need. Swing by for a good shirt at mortske.com. Check out the Dodge Diplomat with the fake blower. Oh, it's an oil pan. That's a lot of coolant. Overheating, never heard of her. Look at this fresh upholstery job. It's different shades of blue and wear and tear. Hey, back to cleaning that windshield. Come on. Free labor. Yeah. You want a tip or not? All right. These boys said you're gonna want the windshield clean so that the mud runs off. Makes sense, and so you can see. So, there we go.
U-turn.
it all in. It like shoots it out. Yeah, like it just shooting that mist out. Should go to the car wash. Oh man, we gotta get it muddy, Betty! Dude, she barks pretty good, huh? Instead of the Duff cam, we'll call it the drunk cam. Is it okay? Is that respectable? It's good. Seems like you're slipping pork burger or something because it takes so damn long to get going. But I don't know if it's just slipping on the mud. I'm just glad that I got somebody to ride in the back seat of this thing. I'm like, all this work I could have just done a square body, but it's just me and Benny. We could have came out with a motorcycle. I would encourage that for next year. I've never seen that done, so you would be the first. You put it on your tire, say, buddy. Why did somebody tell me about that? Oh, we broke another headliner bow. It like when it wants to, it really barks though, don't it? I don't know. I was trying to get my back off the ceiling. I couldn't tell. We're gonna go to the pits and swap in or the campground or whatever they call it. We're gonna swap a mass airflow sensor, see if that wakes this thing up a bit. How come nobody told me about that boat? I can honestly say I was not aware of it. All right, let's test out the new map. Still starts great. Yay, LS. What's that noise? Oh shoot, zero oil pressure. Yeah, it does kind of suck back there, the visibility. I never even... Yeah, you looked right into the back seat was like the last... yeah, that got thrown in like as it was getting loaded onto the rollback. When it gets up there, I just like dipping in and spinning my tires. Yep. That's all I'm good at. There, it seems like it runs great. Yeah. Maybe it was that mass airflow sensor. Yeah. The best it's ever run. Was it missing again? Says it is? That's a lie. Silly chicken.
It's fine.
You see it flashing up here?
Yeah. We're doing some tuning.
Wait. Come on, RPM. Yeah! I'm so happy.
A real mud runner. We got the tires wet, almost up to the valve stem. That's what I wanted to do. Remember that time we didn't have brakes? Or a wheel? Yeah. God, when it wants to go, it's insane, but it just... Check it, like deleted. Fixed it. Well, we gotta scan some codes.
Oh no.
We hit the water hard one time and it got angry, but when you just do donuts and do stupid things off the rev limiter, it likes it. Also, my crotch is wet now. Oh, that's a long ways down. Guess we gotta wash it now.
I knew your curiosity wouldn't last long.
We made 3-4 laps? Wow, we probably made 6 or 8. And then I was like, all right. Somebody was like diddling around on the edge. I'm like, all right, we're dipping in. Yeah. And it worked pretty good until then, and now something's angry. I don't like the water, I like the mud. Cabbage. Yeah, it's a couple holes in the floor. Air cleaner seems like it's pretty dry. Sucky part about hood pins is if we got to fix something in there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult with the hood pins. But yeah, the squirters work okay. Could use some wipers, but yeah, it digs pretty good. Low range, first gear, sometimes second, but it likes it. Real nice. What do you think, Benny?
It was nice.
It was nice. That's a nice shirt you got right there.
Oh, look, I am repping today.
It makes you look so slim too.
Well, that's, you know, it's my color.
It's a slim fitting. When we hit the water pretty good, we were getting, she bogged out and then the check engine light is flashing, so I don't know if we got a misfire or what, but all of a sudden we couldn't clear the code and we found out why our ground came out of our OBD2, so we're gonna have to fix that. You boys got a drill and some self-tappers by chance?
We sure do.
Very nice. Is that how, well, of course, that's how the drive shaft is held in.
That's how most of this is held together.
Benny ran the codes. We got a knock sensor, that same misfire that we've been having, and then oxygen sensor codes. I think what happened was we hit the water and it went in there, and our oxygen sensor got real happy because it senses oxygen. And guess what? Water's made out of 2 parts and 1 part, I don't know. So we're just gonna fix it by unplugging them.
Fish level.
All right, we unhooked the oxygen sensors. We got rid of the codes. We're gonna go and rip on it some more. Here we go. Still running poopy, but no code. So we're gonna go ahead, unhook the battery, and turn it off, turn it back on again. 60% of the time it works every time.
60% of the time it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Should have put a carburetor on it. Oh, so hard to reach. Oh, the bolt came out of the battery hold down too, or the battery too. I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. Well, I'm too chicken to go through the middle, so somebody offered to give me a ride. We're gonna do it. And this thing looks serious. I see a pinion brake, some tractor tires, a step. It's sealed up underneath there. I guess it rides really rough. I don't know. We're gonna wing it. Oh, the door's even shut nice for a square body.
was easy.
They make it look easy. When you got money, right? Jeez. What do you think about that?
Was sweet.
It didn't even try. It's like driving a golf cart through the golf course.
What happens when you know what you're doing? Sadly, some of us don't.
Yeah, well, here we are. Well, we found a plug wire off and a couple of injector connectors that I probably screwed up. Hopefully they're fine.
Let's go break it again.
We'll give it a whirl. All right, we just had some brats, supper. Benny's gonna take her for a rip. You gonna get her stuck?
I'm gonna try my best.
You gonna break it?
I'm gonna try my best.
You know how to do it?
I hope so.
All right. Well, best of luck.
Holy shit, you got drain holes in here and everything.
Hey, this is a family show. That's why we build family sedans for the working class man.
We're just going to...
Give her a send. Here we go. Oh yeah, put your seatbelts on. Oh no, just keep washing that emblem off. It looks good.
Hey, all the way across, baby.
Polish that knob, baby.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, we don't look as cool as some of the guys out here, but we're different and we did it in a week. I mean, we're going faster than that Jeep things. It's got the arm hanging out. Ooh, the double D. I'm gonna send him through the big stuff. I'm gonna make him get stuck and hook the rope up. Let's do this. He's having any fun. None whatsoever. Get this thing stuck. Who's gonna do it? You gonna do it? You think you can start with this one?
I was actually thinking about going through this one.
Yeah. It might make it. Do it. Well, I asked Benny who's gonna get it stuck. Holy super duty Batman! This is why we can't have nice things. Anyway, I said we gotta get this thing stuck. We're at a mud bog. We gotta do what we can, so Benny's taking one for the team. We're gonna go until we get her stuck. Got a little berm here to stand on and film. Hopefully you don't splash me, because I don't want to get my nice Floyd cotter pin shirt all muddy. Get yours, mortske.com. You look great at a mud run. You look great anywhere. You can wear them to funerals, weddings, graduations, baptisms, confirmations, court hearings, all of them. Mortske.com, we got ball caps. We got everything. Magnetic screwdrivers, magnetic can koozies. Heck, price and availability in the video description on a Pontiac. Other than Mason's wheels, we gotta give them back. Sent a real hard. Wah, wah, wah.
You ain't stuck yet.
Not yet.
We gotta try harder.
Go a little bit deeper.
There we go. That's what I like to hear. Deeper, Betty!
Get stuck on the side over here. I think this thing is a lot better than we give it credit for. If we can get it to the RPMs up, it's even better. Well, raising the bar again, they say. This is the next deepest spot. We gotta get this thing stuck. Benny's just a better driver than me. Man, 56 Pontiacs look good. 38s. We did see a few people swamped in here pretty good. It's a little bit more of a clay mixture. I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna walk right through it. Mr. Benny. I can't wait. What's next? Baby steps. Baby steps.
That was a pretty good test of it, I will say.
That's a pretty good step up right there.
You know what? It bogs down, but I don't think it cares.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's like, I'm not happy about it, but I got this.
Goes in crawler mode.
Yeah, right. I don't know that we're gonna get much better than we did. That's about the stickiest it gets.
Well, then I guess we're gonna have to go deeper.
Always go deeper. That water, that motor likes water, right?
Yeah. It's waterproof. It's a boat motor. It's a boat anchor, according to everybody on the internet. So, right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
All or nothing. All right, let me get the windows clean so you can see where the middle's at. You don't want to miss the hole, Benny. If it makes it through this is the swamp of swamps. We're doing it. We're doing it. You can tell by the way the grass is out here, or whatever that is, seaweed. It's the good stuff. The little engine looks good. It's not happy about it, but it's not stopped. Oh, there it is. It's still alive! You cannot kill a Pontiac! What can you do, fellas? I think we're throwing in the towel. And there you go, kids. You guys saw how high that. Oh, we're backing up! We're gonna back out! We're not stuck yet! We're not that drunk! We're not that drunk! You got it, Benny! Christopher Columbus is telling us the way to go. DB made it! You're gonna have to hook the rope up. Yeah. Oh! Clear out! Oh, things have escalated here. Oh, go forward! Come on, you sissy! It's not stuck yet.
It's dead though.
I think the battery can lose.
Well, if he moves his seat cover, he can see it. I'd come out there and help you, but DB, take your boots off.
No.
Well, we're not stuck. We just don't have any electrical power.
Don't have power.
Yeah. Let me just bring a battery out to you quick. Oh, call AAA. Well, here comes the cavalry.
Well, it ain't shallow, I'll tell you that much.
And this guy is 6'7". Hey, reach through there and try wiggling the battery cable. You should be able to see it.
I'm not touching anything electrical in the water.
Come on, it's only 12 volts. It's low voltage, come on. Can you see it right there? It's right below the header.
Looks like the battery cable completely pulled out. There's just a brass end out there.
Hook it back up. You think that clevis is gonna hold it?
No, I think we did something bigger for next year.
Benny, you just follow him. Oh, slots do look good. With some big old mud tires.
I tried my
Benny, you ruined my car! How are we gonna get home? We're gonna lose the shop for sure. And you lost your shoes.
That's in the back.
Oh, was it getting wet in there? Was it?
Yeah.
Was it?
It
How
was
was the
right-
back seat?
you know, it's really nice cushion.
Kind of like that Adam Sandler song, "The Spring Pokes the Balls."
Yeah, the piece of crap.
Yeah,
right?
yes. Hey, I like how you know that this is a family-friendly.
Cleaned it up.
Yeah. So somebody's got to around here. Somebody's got to clean a car too.
Not it.
Oh, our detail guy just showed up.
I think that's all that is, but why wouldn't anything on the inside work though?
So here's the problem: is the battery cables are wrapped around the drive shaft.
Oh, that'll do it.
That's
all that mucky muck.
It was on the list to tie them up to the bottom of the body, but
that list.
I was like, how is that gonna ruin our day?
I would have liked it.
I know you would have.
We would have made it totally out for sure. She did good. I'm impressed with this thing.
Yeah,
you did all right. You kind of stumbled into it, but I'm pretty happy with it.
We didn't even technically get it stuck.
No, for sure not.
Just
no
electrical issues every time. Stupid LS's.
It didn't stick. It killed.
Yeah. The bad news is we got the power and the ground.
Well, we were gonna do it.
Oh, we got him. We got him real good down here. Oh, we ripped him completely off.
Ah, nice. I told you.
There's your problem.
It stopped dead.
That's.
I know.
Whoa! You want to pull one of them battery cables off? I just tried welding with them.
Did it work?
Well, I smiled for the flash.
Now try it again just to make sure.
We're gonna tow it back to the boneyard. Benny, did you have any fun?
Yes, I did.
Yes,
do it again.
Just a little bit? You come back. Aren't you glad you didn't shovel out the bottom of that grain bin?
Yes.
Don't worry, it's waiting for you tomorrow.
There's always Sunday.
Oh, you're really tearing them up now. All right, I think that's gonna be a wrap for old Vinny's. Benny's bringing the roll back over because he's the DD. Seems how he broke the poncho, but yeah, good time. I love this place because you can come here and you can just watch. You can come here with a side-by-side. You can come here with a $250,000 Sasquatch, or you can come here with a $250 Exploder and the rear hatch and bumper removed and some big mud tires. Or an S10 with a flatbed, or an S10 without a roof, or a bed, or a four-wheel drive Rancher. Literally fun for all ages. I'm shot. I'm worn out. I took a biff off that tire this morning at about 2 o'clock, and I'm exhausted. Benny, did you have fun?
I enjoyed it.
All right, no more mud trucks for a while. And also, run your battery cables inside the cabin or tie them up better.
Duff, do you think you missed out yesterday?
That was pretty rough riding. Definitely got a few things we could improve upon. A lot of fun. Slept in today. I'm beat. It's been a tough week. This thing beat me even more yesterday, but we had a lot of fun. I don't know that we got stuck because this thing was still moving until the engine died. And we figured out why the engine died. You gotta watch out for them red and black rubber-coated copper weeds getting in the drive shaft, because that'll stop the engine right now. You know, if we'd had points ignition and no fuel injection and whatnot, this thing would have probably kept running. Not so good. So what had happened was I'd intended to tie those up to the body higher, and I ran them underneath the body because it's like, well, you don't want them inside. People kicking them, you know, might pinch them in the seat. Run your battery cables inside the car and run something over them. You know, run them inside some rubber hose or something, because then they don't get wrapped up in the drive shaft. What happened was Benny was stuck, and he was just pinning it, just zinging it, and all those weeds were whipping around, and they went up there, and they caught those cables and pulled them down. You can see exactly what happened. So anyway, that is one thing we learned. I knew something was going to break. We were going to run it till it broke. But electrical was on my list. I thought it was going to be either the front drive shaft or maybe a knuckle in the front end, or that Turbo 350 that I didn't know anything about that just absolutely took a beating. But I did not think it was going to be the battery cables, both of them, getting ripped completely off the car. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing unloaded, get her to the back of the shop, and get her cleaned up for the next time. It's still got water dripping out of the rocker panel here. We got to drain the water tank out of the back. Got to make sure and get that back to Bob. We got to get the tires Back to old Mason. Thanks for both you guys for borrowing that stuff. And we got to do a few things. But yeah, let's get after it. I'm gonna get this thing running and driving again so we can move it around. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna hook up battery cables somehow to get this thing off the trailer to make it more mobile. But before I get it off the trailer, I might go ahead and cut all them weeds off of the drive shaft because they're easy to get at right here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Except the tripod is up in the car. Great. So, took the old cables that were wrapped around the drive shaft, crimped some new ends on the opposite end, new eyelets, and then got the old bolt-on ends here. Let's see if the old 6-liter lives again. Slingshot engage. Come on, baby. There we go. Back in action. Never even missed a beat. Now it's raining outside, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and park this thing outside. Hopefully it cleans itself. And maybe after we get it cleaned up, we can buff the paint, give her a good coat of wax, and next time we get it dirty, it'll just shed all that mud right off. Wishful thinking, right? You know what I like? LS swaps. LS swaps, and Pontiacs. Better yet, LS swapped Pontiacs. Two extremes. One right on its belly, and one lifted to the moon. All right, we made her back from Vinny's. DB's got this thing all cleaned up. What did we learn? We learned we're not four-wheel drive guys. My back is killing me from bouncing around on that thing and climbing up and down. We need wipers. I'd like to get a window in it. We need better seats. We need seat belts. Should build a center console for that thing. I'd like to build a visor. I think it'd look cool, and also it'd hide those ugly washers. And then we could just get a couple of windshield wipers for like a side-by-side or a piece of equipment, and then we just mount them up underneath there. We need more power or more gears, so I think more power is the way to go. I looked on eBay, and you can get a $800 turbo kit with some Wu-Tang whistlers. I think that'll help out. Then we'll have to figure out the tuning and the cold air, and probably need a bigger fuel pump injectors, but more power. I want those tires spinning faster. We could probably do a little bit of tuning, get it running a little better. The body is freaking pristine. We gotta lube up the door latches. These ones open kind of hard from the outside. The fronts don't open from the outside real well at all. Lube up the window regulars. Just take the doors apart and give them a good cleaning. Get everything all lubed up. And then we gotta do something for the driver's window that's busted out. That really wasn't a big deal. I did learn a lot of things. You wash your rig before you leave, because they have it all set up to do washing. Also, that hose gets slammed in there, and when you open it, when you put it out here, it catches on there, so we gotta reroute that through the roof with our new visor. But yeah, you wash it on site. That way the stuff is wet and doesn't dry on there. You don't get it all over your rollback, and you don't end up with it all in your yard. Like so, and so. And also, from riding in Carl's and Carl's daughter's rigs, you want them sealed up nice and tight, both inside the cab so you don't get muddy and all your equipment doesn't get muddy, but in the engine bay so that your exhaust manifolds don't get covered in crap, and that your spark plug wires and all your connectors and your ECU don't get covered in water and mud. Carl's been doing this for a while, and he opened the engine bay on one of his square bodies there, and it was like cleaner than any engine bay that I have on anything. So he knows what he's doing. He's got a good system going on. But so yeah, seal that up. We should get a temp gauge and an oil pressure gauge. This thing seemed like it was running cool. You could put your hand on the top radiator hose. So LS's, they just like to cool. Maybe just get rid of these seats. I kind of like the fact that they are the original seats. Also, they bolted right in, but it'd be nice to have something out of like a late model so that they're in better shape and more comfortable. And then something that's like a vinyl or a leather, so you can just wipe them off, hose them off, easier to clean up. It'd be cool to get some lights working on it, maybe an air horn or some type of horn just to make some noise, or a stereo just to be funny. What else, Duff? Yeah, oh, steps. A lot of guys will take some rope or some chain and hang it down there. That way it doesn't get hung up on stuff and it's easy to clean. But then you can put your foot in there. Because this thing's a pain to get in, because so you're standing right here, then you got to sneak down through here, where a pickup, it's taller, so it's kind of hard to sneak inside of this thing. And there's a million other things. Like, I'd like to get some steel wheels. I don't know if they'd be heavier or not, but they'd look a lot cooler. We might try running it with like some 33s or some 35s just to see how much power you can get, because that's what I like about Carl's little truck that we rode in. He's got all kinds of power. Then he's got 307s and a 208 transfer case, which is lower geared than this. And then he gets the wheel speed up, but he's got power, so wheel speed is the way to go. What did you find to roll in? Something dead, no doubt. Oh, he's on to me, he says. It's definitely not a scratch. There's something dead over there. Did you kill one of my gophers? It's digging in my transformer. But yeah, we got things to do. I like the look of it. I like the stance. I like the tire size. Like I said, those wheels just kill it for me. They're borrowed. So shout out to Mason for borrowing us those. Shout out to Bob for borrowing us the sprayer and the squirter assembly setup. So we got to get some of our own stuff that. But there is a Lamb Jam coming up here in Catherine, North Dakota, or close to Catherine. That's about an hour-ish away. I think that's the 14th through the 17th of August. Since we're only 50 miles away and this thing's already basically ready to go, we'll do a couple other things, but I don't know if we're going to get turbos on it by then. That's only 3 weeks away, so yeah. So let us know if you want to go to Lamb Jam. Maybe meet us there, go for a ride. We'll bring some swag with us. Bring your mud truck, bring your four-wheel drive, bring your Honda Civic, whatever. Have some fun. That's like I said, what I like about the mud truck thing is it's not really a competition for the most part. It's just to have fun. And you can have everything from a $50 three-wheeler to a $250,000 jacked up rig. So, and everything in between. And there's all kinds of fun. There's the guys with the 50-inch tractor tires or V-treads and 1,200 horsepower just idling through, just like driving a golf cart on the golf course. And then there's guys with the violence, and that's what I like. A 4.3 S10 with 33-inch tires and cutout wheel wells, just singing her to the moon. Those are the guys that are having fun. This was a lot of work, but it was really cool. Hopefully you guys like this video. I can't even explain how much work it was. It didn't really cost a lot. I had $300 into those headers, and I had $200 into the tune, and the rest of the stuff I pretty much had around. Yeah, I had money in the fuel lines and in the fuel pump and U-joints and battery cables and all that stuff, but it was stuff that I had here. It was already paid for, so we put it all in one pile. We cleared up 2 stalls in the yard. We cleared up the mud truck stall and we cleared up the stall that this was on, and all we got left is a bunch of pretty much scrap iron. We got the square body that's too good to throw away in the bed, but anyway, we got something that runs and drives and looks really cool sitting out here by the highway. So we got that done. We didn't really break anything per se. We didn't get stuck. We did both, but I mean, technically, it probably would have drove out, I think. So this thing's pretty good, and we're only going to make it better. So, all right, I got to wrap this. I'm sure this video is super long, but you crazy dog. Remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you're having fun. All right, on to the next one. Who's a mud dog? Should have let you drive instead of Benny. Crazy boy. Yeah, get back to work, he says. Notice we got a little rattling going on there, so I don't know what's loose. Maybe it's that crappy Chinese band clamp. Check it out under there, see what we got to fix yet. Oh yeah, we got to put power steering fluid in. Maybe had a slight leak. We're carpenters, got it.
It's what was extra on the shelf.
Oh, you guys are so extra.
I had to glue that handle back on because I was going to split wood with the last time.
No extra charge for the new snap rings. Let's see, it's not my problem when it scatters. It's not gonna be me walking out
It's
there.
gonna anyway.
This is pretty much the grand finale. It's pretty boring if you ask me. Is he gonna make it all the way through? Oh, it's all uphill from here. Oh, like nobody's business. Walk in the park. Nobody's even made it close. So they just walk right through it.